Am I?
I hope everyone's forgotten who that is. That's a great way to start the show, too. Okay, we're live. Probably, maybe, hopefully, geez, everybody let us know. It only took us 38 minutes of getting started. I think that's pretty good. Slash on top of everything else we were doing, hopefully wrong. So, chat, assuming you can hear us and see us, let us know what you think. No one on the stream knows what they look like on the cameras, so if everyone here joining me wants to see the disaster that I've set up as our little podcast display, enjoy it. Also, shout out to NP, Caleb, Demicro, Khalil, and Ark for being in the chat twice now. I'm on the bottom right. No, you are the man and the woman. You're like a cat dog. So, yeah. You can tell Audri's not seen it by the lack of a reaction. Yeah, so before the podcast starts officially, I've got my drink.
Oh my god.
I've got my
there you go.
My big boy drink, which I can't wait for everyone to see on the stream delay. But I wanted this just to be here as my little buddy, because we got this guy recently. He's really big and chunky.
Oh, that's good.
Besides that, though, something we're not opening up yet, but I just kind of got randomly show off. So I was at a vintage talk and found Zone of the Enders 2, the PS4 port, because for whatever reason Konami was like, hey, let's port 2 to PS4 and not 1 and make it VR. It was really weird, and no one cared about it or bought it. I saw it at a vintage talk for $20. I was like, man, I really love Zone of the Enders, though. I should buy that. And I looked for the price on eBay. And I bought this on eBay. Free shipping, still sealed, the day one shiny cover edition with I think it has a stamp in there. Really only ever had this happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say
once
the stream
with you guys.
It's buffering.
Okay, I think we're back. No,
Yeah,
you weren't saying anything before, were you?
Spencer, I see that image.
Thank you. See, that's why it disconnected. You reported us to the Better Business Bureau, and now we're back. Okay, so assuming everyone can hear us okay, we're about to get started. OBS just wants to crash a couple of times. Mystery package, does anyone want to guess what I bought from Japan that finally arrived?
Crash a couple of...
Oh, there we go. I've joined myself.
Oh, fun.
Any guesses?
From Japan.
From Japan. Not a Nihongo exclusive. I'll give you a hint. It's in your house right now.
Oh, so we own it?
Yes.
I refuse to guess.
Something you know that we own.
I'll see if chat can guess before I actually open it up. I bet it's something dirty.
Is it a video game?
Sadly not dirty. It is video game related. Wow, this person did some good packing. It's very worth my $90 I spent on this. Get out of here.
Oh, is it the...
Oh, there we go. It's
It's
very
not a
liberal in the
Nocturne,
bubble. Alright, we made it. It is not a copy of Jack Bros. It is still in packaging. From the Square Enix eShop comes the Holy God Almighty... Oh, there's still a sticker. I gotta break on this thing. Here we go. Alright, we finally freed it from its condom. Oh, wow, that also was on there. The Near Replicant version 1.22474487139 ... edition. Steelbook. And then it's very glossy.
I was actually thinking, when you said Square Store, if it was near, because I remember you tweeting about keeping an eye on a limited edition. Did you ever get that?
Nope, I gave up and just imported the Steelbook from Japan for $90.
Ah.
I will say this.
That works.
This thing is fucking hot. This cover is really nice and glossy. And I know my camera is doing it no justice, but this is a great cover.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
The inside is pretty whatever artwork of just random scenery stuff, but yeah, the actual the cover of Young Boy Near, very, very good. Okay. That was my sad unboxing. I'm sure 3 people were surprised, and now we can get into the fun. I knew it was a steelbook. Yeah, if anyone's watched this channel long enough, it's always going to be a steelbook. Oh, also, I totally forgot. We had a super chat before we even started by Demicro. I'm ready to be disappointed is where you should have ended it there, but you said from Atlus. So, we're going to get started. Now, I guess. Okay, so we'll have our awkward moment of silence.
Yep.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network Link 217. I am one of your very thirsty hosts on this podcast, where we are not going to be talking about Genshin Impact, unfortunately.
Damn.
I know. So I'm your host. I'm your host, Spencer Presley. Joining me on this most auspicious of days is Audri. May or may not be shirtless, red-headed Arden. Cannot confirm or deny.
We will never know.
That's your podcast debut. If someone is just hearing this only now, they'd be like, "Oh, hey, that's the mysterious intro that will define your internet life forever." I appreciate that. That we'll never know. We all know, though. You know what? People who could know. Someone who could walk probably 5 seconds and find out if Audri was shirtless Arden. Dylan and Devon are joining me. Dylan, how are you doing right now, man without a camera?
I was forced to go do this in the living room because Devin didn't want me near her microphone.
That's called getting, I guess, reverse cucked? Like, you're still a part of it, but you just have to be in another room.
Yeah.
You've got your own camera. You can turn it on if you want.
Yeah, not in this lighting.
It's the cat cam. His camera is only for
You could grab
cats.
the ring light.
I love that you see what everyone else has to see for my fucking messy ass face, and you're like, no, not professional enough for this. Although being Miss Professional 2021, we do have Devon making her VTuber life and OBS symbol right over here. Devon, how does it feel being a VTuber for the first time?
This is pre-debut.
Okay,
I'm not officially VTubing yet.
This was like this is like when you had to start posting your stuff on Pornhub before OnlyFans was a thing. Like, people were watching, but it wasn't like the start of like a career yet. And you guys remember like when Pornhub was cool? Like, the thing about it, no one uses Pornhub now. That site's just dead.
Well, yeah, didn't they fucking nuke 13 million
Yeah,
videos?
they nuked the entirety of the user section for a pretty good reason, actually, because there was a lot of stuff uploaded on there that didn't have people's permission. But I just thought it was funny. I thought about it. Once they did that, though, it just entirely it killed. I think something said it killed 75% of their user base.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah. So.
That's a dang.
So yeah, sadly, we are not going to be talking about this. I'm just going to do Mr. Technical's part real quick. Who's got or who's not hearing the kind of scratchy echo every now and then? Because I'm getting very tiny little scratchy echo.
I'm hearing it.
Audri, do you hear it? Okay, I got to blame it on Audri then. I'm sorry.
But
We're making you put a shirt on. Your cum gutters are echoing off my voice too much.
I think you got a display issue too on my thingy.
Yeah, so does someone else have a camera on? Oh, Dylan has a camera on. Dylan, turn that camera off, you silly goose. I thought it was Devon. There we go. I see, I thought it was you messing with OBS.
No.
But this is an
I'm
audio
not
podcast,
Dylan.
gosh darn it. We gotta figure out our audio issues before the show goes live, not after. So that's the fun of it all.
Whoops.
So there's our terrible intro for everybody. We're just gonna get into this. I guess actually no. Before we get into this, because Audri, this is your first time. Audri, you've been a SMT fan for how many years now?
Maybe 7 or 6 or 7 years. I can words.
What was your first introduction to the series?
I want to say it was Persona 3.
Okay, I have to know what is the background noise picking up, because it either sounds like a radio is trying to eat you in the background every now and then, or something horrifying is happening.
I mean, there's nothing going on around me.
Really? It's maybe a weird static thing. What do you guys think that is?
What the heck?
It's
It wasn't
her
there before.
headphones. I'm sure it has something to do with her mic, hitting her shirt or something.
You could try without, just because you're using. What are you on your phone or your computer?
my computer.
Do you want to try your phone? I thought you said you were going to try your phone or something.
Well, it was gonna make me download Skype.
On the mobile one?
Yes.
I'm gonna prove this wrong now, and as I troubleshoot you. While I'm waiting though, Dylan and Devon, you guys took so long to realize why Friday is going to be a big deal. Unless I'm getting my dates wrong. Have you guys realized why Friday is important, and it's not Final Fantasy related?
It's fucking Mass Effect.
There you go! Mass Effect Day!
Yep.
Yeah, I knew a little bit. Well, okay, it's not that I didn't forget. I actually did bring it up to somebody else today, so that counts.
There you go. My guess, actually, by the way, Audri, with your thing, if I could guess what it is while we're dealing with all the fun stuff, I think it's that your audio might be too loud, or like your earphone might be too close to your mic, because it sounds like it's getting like the speaker is like next to like where the little earbud would be, like, or too close. This is why everyone loves all podcasts that are not in person, because they're very, very fun. Also, everyone joining live, thank you for joining us for the technical IT support podcast. So, everyone joining us live for the debauchery, NP, Khalil, Jack Frost, Demi Crow, Molten Sky, Mirth, you're not late. We're talking about Pornhub, so clearly no topics have really been covered yet. Max saying, talk about Pornhub so nonchalantly. I think, like, if I talked about it in, like, a roundabout way, that would almost make it sound more weird, you know? Like, that one site with the videos that are, like, not there no more.
The naughty adult video.
The naughty adult site. I'm not talking about RedTube, though. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Pi Studio, bringing up a good point of why we are here, though. Today's whole theme is going to be try not to get too excited, and not too much of a. My goal for this video, is basically, I want to quell everyone's hype without actually sounding like a big old negative Nancy, if that makes sense. So, hopefully that can actually happen. But, before I get into that, as I'm still trying to, mac around with some other stuff, Lively... Hold on, did Live Leak actually get shut down?
Did it?
That's funny. I mean, not, like, funny haha, it's more, like, weird funny, as in, like, huh, that's, like, kind of surprising. Let me look at this. Live Leak getting... I feel like if Live Leak got, like, actually shut down, it'd be, Oh, yeah! Live Leak died literally like 6 days ago. Well, people will have to go to other sources for their man getting run over at work compilations.
Yeah,
that's a weird one, man. I'll have to like actually look that up. Yeah, Audrey, you are right, though. You can't do the Skype thing from your phone, and I might have to convenience you for the most horrible thing of either trying to find another headset or downloading it on your phone. Or you could... I was gonna be like, well, oh yeah, I don't know whatever your guys' setup is. It is funny though, we're using 3 different computers as all of you guys all live in the same place. It's like the most streamer setup I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, we all have our own computers and everything. Plus, it's like easier to like, just not. I don't know, take turns.
That's okay. But yeah. So before we kind of mess around with that or whatever, Dylan and Devon, what have you guys been playing before we get into news?
I've been playing a lot of
Oh no.
Puyo Tetris.
Oh really? 1 or 2?
Just Puyo. Just Puyo.
Oh no, hush! I was gonna bring that up next. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I've been playing a lot of Puyo Tetris lately. Because I finally picked it up off the Steam sale like a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I forgot entirely how to play Puyo.
Some people may never have even started to play Puyo, so you're a little farther than them.
Yeah, my Tetris skill is still pretty decent.
That's funny though, like I just saw, I think it was Pi Studio in the Discord, was showing some Walmarts have Puyo Tetris 2 already discounted on clearance to like $25, and I'm like, ooh, I need to pick that up. I have it digitally, but I would like to have the PS5 version physically.
Yeah, I can feel that. And the other thing I mostly just finished playing, actually, is Honey Pop 2.
Oh, okay. with
Yeah.
a family game for the kids.
Yeah, one of the most family-friendly games.
Now, weird question, because I actually kind of had to learn about Honey Pop as the sequel came out. So Honey Pop has no, like, insertion, right? There's no, like, I know there's nudity, but there's no, like, actual, like, full-on intercourse.
No,
It's just a bunch of fancy hentai artwork.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of really classy CGs of women with their parts out, and sometimes there's semen involved.
Sometimes.
Are you sure that's semen?
It's Gatorade. It's just white-colored lemon Gatorade.
I'm just saying, you can be a female instead of a male, so...
Okay.
Yeah, you can. You can also, squirt all over them too, I guess.
Devon, Devon, I have to, as part of the female, as probably the only female in the call who would have been around while this was happening. What is like your take on Honey Pop as a series? Because when I showed it to Mary for the, well, I wasn't sure if you had played it or not because I was gonna say
I have more hours in it in the first game than Dylan does, and more achievements.
Damn, calling him out on the stream, not very fair. Yeah, wow, Super Gamer Guy brings up a great point. From Pornhub to Live Leak to Honey Pop, it just all flows. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up just because I'm noticing some stuff. I don't want to have anyone feel very called out, but I'm just gonna throw this out there as an option. If you guys aren't in for it, if you guys aren't into it, feel free to bring it down. And no, I'm not gonna bring up a three-way. That'd be weird. But I did realize it sounded like a three-way setup. Okay, although this does actually then kind of sound like a three-way, but either way, you know what I mean.
Hey, that's like the entire setup of Honey Pop too.
That is, yeah, actually, that is true. Dylan and Audri, both of your mics sound like Best Buy and Circuit City are trying to 69 each other in a very bad way. Are you guys against the idea of just sharing Devon's mic, who has the only good quality mic?
I mean, I'm fine with going in and sharing it, so...
Alright, I guess I'm having a man voice too.
That's even better! It's not like people are gonna, like, go back to this video 50 years in the future and be like, yes, this is what this VTuber sounded like. It was just Dylan ranting about Honey Pop.
Okay, Dylan.
Yeah, because I don't know, I don't want to just be
With
Mr.
my
Technical BS guy, but yeah, it does sound a little 2008 Xbox Livey in here.
To be fair, before we got this shit started, I asked if I sounded like shit.
You did?
I think he did.
I thought you sounded fine.
Get out of the room. Get the fuck out.
I'm gonna have so much fun editing this. All 20 of you watching this, thank you for putting up with all of this. Okay, let's give it a try. What's your man voice sound like now? Oh. It looked like your model was like in a lazy boy recliner for a second. I was like, hold on.
I feel like I'm dying.
Oh my god. Pi Studio with the breaking news, calculator is coming to Nintendo Switch. Oh, sorry, Super Gamer Guy breaking the news that calculator is coming to Switch.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. You can now write boobs on your Switch with numbers.
Better now.
It does, actually. What'd you do?
I downloaded Skype on my phone.
You sound infinitely better, and I don't hear myself through a microwave toaster oven. So, congratulations, everyone. It took us another 19 minutes, but we're finally starting the episode for real this time. Yay! Oh my god. You know what? We can actually... This is like an excuse for me to like use actual like chapters on YouTube, so I can have the... Here's the bad opening. Here's the bad podcast opening, and then we'll do a clean, fresh, actual opening. So you guys good for starting fresh?
Yep.
Audri can finally have a better opening than just saying, I guess so. Or you'll never know, whatever it was. Alright, the pre-show is gone. We're ready to start. That's why we have more. We've been gaining viewers through that, through that nightmare, so thank you, everybody. Okay, we're starting for real this time. God help me audioing this. How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network, Link 217, Part 2, Take 5. God knows how many other times I'm going to have to do this. I'm your host, Spencer Presley. Joining me live on YouTube are a bunch of people who are definitely picking up Honey Pot Simulator Calculator Edition on the Nintendo Switch tomorrow. First up is Audri, making their podcast debut. Hello, Audri.
Hello.
Oh man, sorry, I gotta ask a really hard question. And I think now Jack Frost live in the chat asked me a question. I'd like to clarify before I answer this. It says, "What was the best Link ever?" And I really hope they meet up the podcast because I would love to try and like actively think what the best episode was, like as unbiased as humanly possible. But that would be a very hard question. Audri, we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show that is now dead for everyone unless you watched it live. What was your first SMT or Persona game that you got into?
I want to say it was Persona 3.
Which one, though? Or was it vanilla?
I think it was FES. I think I saw it in our mall GameStop. Rest in peace. It's gone now. It's been
The mall or
lately
the
closed.
GameStop?
It was years ago, but I was like, "Ooh, this seems interesting." Played it, and I was like, "Oh, this is happening.
Okay.
This is entertaining."
Fun fact about Audri that I will never forget. You had the most auspicious of things of note of. I remember running into you with Dylan and Devon, also on the show, at Nakacon for the first time. I don't remember the year, but you were cosplaying as Sho Minazuki, and we just never let you stop running into us all weekend.
Yeah, that's fair. I like show.
Do you guys remember what year that was? I'm trying to think of what that was. It might have been.
It was probably 2014.
No, 2014 was ASIN.
Dylan, do you still have your Skype microphone on? There was like a weird echo for a second. Oh yeah, you are still on. You are still on Skype.
Bro.
Okay. Are we good?
It's okay. We're doing it live, dang it.
Am I only heard once now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank God.
So yes, what was the consensus? 2013, 14? No, it would have been after 14.
I actually think it's 2015 because 2013 we went to Anime Midwest, and then right after that in 2014 was ASIN. What?
It's 2015.
That's what I just said.
Mansplaining. Oh my god.
Well, I was thinking of that one convention that's like shut down now that we first met you at too.
Oh,
Oh.
Motaku, baby. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Motaku. The very first one I ever went to, I found out the hotel that it was at is now just closed, and I was very sad about that
Wow.
because you know a hotel. I don't know if like I remember the hotel more than the actual convention. That was like the funny part about that one. But that was like the Motaku where it was like in a hotel that was also a water park. I forget the name of it
remember the
entirely.
hotel being a sweat factory in the games room.
Every
it was so
anime
crowded.
convention is a sweat factory in the games room. That's why the Smash room has to be its own room. It's not even a joke.
True.
So yeah, wow, gosh, that was a really long time ago. But yeah, like, so Audrey, I'm trying to remember though. Like, I remember we ran into you and we talked a little bit. And I think I even was like, oh, that's really funny you're dressed up as Sho, just because even to this day, it's sad how little has changed. But, like, the character just never really gets any love or recognition. But, like, it's really funny then to kind of think about the fact of, like, oh, yeah, we just ran into you a whole bunch, but I don't, like, remember what it was that, like, kind of kept you guys, like, talking. Or was it, I think I can remember. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think what it was is we kept running into people from where you all live. Because we're all from the Midwest, but then that, like, I feel like that Nakacon in particular, everyone I ran into with you, Dylan and Devon, was like, oh yeah, we all live in the same city.
Yeah, it ended up being that, because we also met Corbett and Catherine that year, too.
That's the year you met them?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is so funny, wow.
Yeah, and then we found out, like, a week and a half after that they lived in Springfield, and then, like, another week later, we saw some fucking movie together.
That
Was
is...
it a movie? The only thing I can remember as first impressions was Corbin taking us to the car wash to wash out his car at the same time he picked us up.
Would you guys believe I have not seen or spoken with Corbin since that year I had to drive them all back down when his car blew up?
No, I'm not surprised.
Dude, that's like 2 years ago.
Was it 2? I thought it was like 3 now.
Is it 3?
I thought it was a long time ago.
Man, I don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, it should be 3 actually, because we've lost.
yeah, it's been like 3, I think.
I
We've
just
lost 2 years of Naka for
Well, hey, some of you, some of you guys did. I got to go last year. That was a trip.
Well, I'm not gonna drive 3 hours just to see a guard tell me to leave.
Very true. But I will say that was one of the trippiest things ever, of being at an anime convention, hosting panels for only the staff. It was very weird.
Pi
I
Studios. It's Springfield, Missouri, not Illinois.
There's a
The
lot of
lesser
Springfields,
popular.
though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Someone. No, Corbin's car didn't blow up. It just broke down. Don't scare people in
It
chat.
would have been funny though. Like, imagine like if that actually did happen. Like, and everyone survived, but everyone's cosplay just burned to a crisp.
That would be
Dylan,
so
why do you
sad.
gotta mess with the link stuff over here, man?
Oh, I was actually going to bring that up here in a second.
Well, it's near my face.
I am the Lynx.
Yeah, no, Spencer, you might want to check that out.
Yeah, I
that's a
saw
good
I
thing.
saw that recently. I don't remember what was up with I don't remember what was up with the trying to think. I don't remember what was up with the like show thing for that. Like, was there like anything that kind of sparked that, or was it just like a random thing like someone had seen?
A like known Japanese like fighting game player was like, "Hey, follow this artist for fighting game news," because like he always draws a bunch of like art of like characters that get released recently and stuff. So he was just like, "Fuck it, shows up next on the docket."
Man, any show love I ever see anymore is fantastic. But I forgot who said it in the chat, but like someone was like, "When's like the next time we're gonna see Show and Labrys again?" And like that's one of those things I'm like, they're probably never actually gonna get seen again, most likely. Sadly.
They might get flipped into a drama CD
Ah.
again.
That's
So-
true.
Still dead.
The dancing games were probably their last ever appearance.
R.I.P. Todd Havercorn and whoever voices Shabris. Actually, don't remember who does Labrys's voice. All I just remember is just the very interesting accent for her. But yeah, so weird Nakacon memories aside, yeah, gosh, that just feels like 9.5 million years ago.
It is 2021.
I know.
It's almost like 7 or 8 years.
Oh, weird question, because we were talking about conventions. Assuming it doesn't get pushed back again, you guys know there's planning on being a small Nakacon meetup in the fall, right?
Mm.
I've not heard anything about this.
It was something that got thrown by with when the virtual one happened this year. They were like, the plan is do a virtual Nakacon this year, and if it's better, do a small con size at the same location, I think, in like September or October.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and especially now that like vaccines are a lot more kind of like available out there if you want it, I wonder what it would kind of be like, because I feel like at least financially with conventions, once they do sort of becoming more common in terms of starting up and whatnot, I think it's one of those things that's like you kind of have to go with them small. Like even like the big ones, like AX isn't happening this year, but like when AX does happen again, I think people need to realize like it's not going to be the wave of people it was before. Like if you were a small con, you're going to be a medium con. If you were a medium con, you're going to be a small con.
Yeah. I can definitely see that being the like thing with cons at the moment now.
What's like if, let's say, Dream Con scenario happens, or what more realistic one, for all three of you, if you had to pick, what's like the first con you want to like go back to? Is like, oh, I want this to be like my next con after
No,
so
let's
long.
say Katsucon, yeah.
Does
Well, I
Katsu
mean,
Con,
out
does
of the three
Katsu
of
have
us,
any
I'm the
plans
only one
yet?
that's
I don't
gone.
remember if they did.
They didn't go. It was just me.
Yeah.
No. I mean, did Katsu have any like plans for the next one?
They obviously didn't have one this year, so I'm not sure. I think they are planning next year though.
Yeah, I think still planning stuff for 2021's got to be really weird. Audrey, what about you, though? Do you have, like, one particular con to rule them all in terms of what you want to be your comeback tour?
I think KatsuCon would be fun to go to.
I've still never gone to it. I'd like to go. Whenever you guys go, like, all your pictures seem really, really fun.
It was fun. I mean, I was out for one day, but aside from that, I really enjoyed it. There is just way too much to see in one go. You have to probably go again if you at least don't mind the crowds.
I never really do, although I need the boyfriend perspective. Like Dylan, as like someone not cosplaying, how much fun would I have at Katsu?
I have no clue.
He didn't go.
You've never gone? I thought it was just the last year you didn't go, so you've never gone to Katsu.
Yeah, no. Last year was the first time you went, or last time was the first time you went to Katsu, right, Deb?
Yes. Last year, February, right before all of that stuff hit, was my first time going. Catherine and Corbin are the ones that went the year before, so they've gone more than once.
I'm trying to remember where it is, because I feel like, yeah, Katsucon's the one that Waffles used to go to all the time in DC.
Yep.
And how... Yeah, it's in the metro area, so, like, it's actually pretty close to, like, DC, although, like, not like DC's actually that large.
It's literally not that far away from the airport.
The only reason I say that is because, like, I've somehow never visited Washington, D.C., and I, like, unironically really still want to go visit all that stuff. But also, Katsucon, I'm on your website. The first image should not be a giant shot of everyone at the One Piece gathering dabbing. I'm just gonna put that out there. Not the best sign in terms of selling me on your con. I love One Piece. I love ironic dabs, but like just having like about 25 One Piece cosplayers dabbing is not gonna make me be like, all right.
Katsucon is packed with literally anything. I think you could find a piece of something that you could fit in over there. Like, you want photos, you can get nice photos. You just want to like chill outside. The outside area is really nice. It's not that far from the pier and the Ferris wheel, the gay ass the light up in the night Ferris wheel. The gazebo is definitely famous. It's always packed. We got there Thursday, so we were actually able to get under there. But any other time I looked, there was a freaking line just to get pictures under it during the active con days. Ran into someone carrying a life-size, oh my god. What is it? I can't think of it right now.
What?
Cyberpunk man.
Oh, Johnny Silverhand?
The actor.
Oh, no.
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, a life-size cutout of Keanu Reeves. There was also 2 shrines. I only saw one. People hang banners and stuff outside of the floor rooms and stuff, so you can see those. I heard, well, I don't know if it's actually real, but I can at least attest to saying that I did see like a crap ton of little robot like poop emojis. Like being controlled around.
I had a moment. I was like laying in bed with Mary before we started with this today. You know, like what weird realization I just had about conventions when they open up again. Whatever the next major convention is, it's just going to be a wave of Lady Dimitrescu.
I mean, there's already a wave online.
True, but like think of like there's that thing of like you remember like how and even still to say like Deadpool cosplay, hilarious, not even hilarious, like just obnoxiously everywhere because it was such an easy thing to do. Literally, like Lady D is get a white dress, some heels, pop them tits out, and you're done.
Yeah. Except, the difference is being, the Lady D cosplayers aren't going to be just complete jerk asses.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. I'd
Really?
rather have her and ask maybe some big ones if they would mind stepping on me.
Big
compared
ones.
to a random Deadpool going up and like.
Ma'am, I couldn't help but notice you've got a. How do I phrase this nicely? You got a bit of a dump truck. I'd like you to park on me.
Get the fly swatter out.
Honestly, how great would it be? Like the next, I'll say this. You know what? I'll commit to it. Everyone here listening to this, please hold me to it. The next convention I go to, I will cosplay as first person Ethan Winters with the fly swatter and look for every Lady D and ask if I can please fly swat them respectfully.
That's a really good idea. And if I actually cosplayed her, I would let you do that just for the fun of it. But she's not really my jam. I don't think I would.
You look more like who's a Resident Evil villain I could see you being. You could do an Ada, I bet.
Oh, Ada?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I was actually thinking the same thing when you said that.
But yeah, so Dylan, first kind of con or convention doesn't have to be anime specific. What's like the one you'd be like, man, I want to fucking go balls to the wall and lick the floor with everyone here?
Probably Nakacon, honestly.
Wrong answer. You were all
Con.
supposed to say TaioCon 2022. It's happening in January. Audri's never been. We gotta make it happen. Don't you want to see the mountains, Audri, of Arizona?
I mean, I've seen actual mountains in Colorado before.
Doesn't count. They got too much green.
Colorado.
Arizona has no green, all mountains.
Well, okay, I'll keep that in mind. I
Also,
guess.
if you want cars
I
to
am
explode, you
not
could.
driving.
I was gonna say you could drive there again if you want your car to explode.
No way.
Yeah, no, we're not driving that one again. If we do end up going, we're getting a fucking plane.
It's not expensive, especially nowadays. Geez, tickets are so cheap for everything.
But yeah, no one's supposed to be fucking going anywhere.
True. Not that that has stopped everybody, but yeah. So I'm pretty like I'm in that thing of I haven't like committed to doing Taio, but like at that point I'm like, you know what? If I'm willing to go somewhere in September, or January, I would probably feel even more comfortable with, especially just because, especially just because of I know it's not like a large scale thing. So it'd be like, and also like, cause I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like, it was one of the things of, even once like people are vaccinated, you know, it's just going to be like, there are just going to be people who will still just wear masks even like once this is all done. Be like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm just gonna keep this thing on forever.
Yeah, to be fair, like as soon as like the year before this hit, I was starting to wear masks at conventions anyway.
Yeah, especially for conventions, dude. Because, like, literally Con Plague, before it was a probably a bit out of date term now, like, it was like every year you would go to a con, you just assume you're going to get sick afterwards, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Knock on wood, but we thankfully haven't really gotten that sick.
Yeah, Devin and I mostly avoided it, but yeah.
I'm just still not too sure. It really depends on how enforced things are down the road for fall and winter. I mean, we're both fully vaccinated, but
You have your 5G.
I don't really see the point in putting on cosplay if half of my face is going to be covered
Well,
and my makeup's going everywhere, you know?
yeah, you could be really extra and just beauty blend it into your makeup, and then no one ever knows. Just don't open your mouth.
I don't really think I'm that talented, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Who's like a cosplay you could do with a mask on where it would like actually work? But like, I'm trying to think. Well, no, I mean like I'm talking like normal what you see outside everyday mask. Not like a head cover. I mean like a full on like you would just see someone with it on with it. Yeah, there's not a lot of like characters that like actually like use stuff like that unless I guess you want to be Valentine from Skullgirls.
Kakashi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Am I like totally wrong by the way about that? Like, who's the nurse in Skullgirls? Isn't that Valentine?
Oh no, Valentine's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh yeah, literally any Mortal Kombat ninja.
that's true. From
Maybe any kind of ninja, honestly, but
Naruto's right there.
is he really a ninja?
he's the Hokage, damn it. We will not be disrespecting the Hokage on this podcast. But hey, we've actually segued into our main topic because what is a convention if not E3? But even though it's not really a convention, but for whatever reason, if you've never been to E3, everyone thinks it's a convention anyway, so whatever. So yes, E3 2021 is, wait for it, literally a month away. It is happening early June, and it still doesn't feel real, and I think the reason behind that is because I know a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes, and it's very, like, kind of everyone rushing to the finish line, if they are doing anything at all. So, before we get into this, I want to just kind of do a quick roundtable of all three of you guys. what are you expecting going into E3? And this does not have to be an Atlus thing, just in general with the way it is. Because right now what we know is that E3 2021, I'm going to pull up all the confirmed companies right now, but it's going to be an online showcase over the course of the week of blah blah blee blue. Here we go. So E3 is going to be from June, boy, they are really bearing the lead, June 12th to June 15th. So by the time the edited version of this podcast goes up, literally a month from now will be E3. And here are the confirmed companies that are going to be there. But just remember, there is no physical E3. Everything will be digital only, whether it be showcases, interviews, someone throwing energy drink cans at the screen, who knows. Right now, we have confirmed Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Gearbox, Verizon for some fucking reason, Freedom Games, Devious Eye Entertainment, Turtle Beach, Verizon again for some reason, thanks Game Informer, Binge, which I've never heard of, Xseed Games, and there's also already confirmed Nintendo, Xbox, Take-Two, Ubisoft, Capcom, Warner Bros., and Atlus and SEGA, who we'll be talking about later. So, pretty much everybody except, like, EA and Sony, which isn't a surprise. EA literally just came out today saying they're doing their thing in July, which I think is kind of interesting. They're pushing it so far back. And Sony's always off doing its own thing of, like, counting all of their money, so they're not really part of the conversation. But, so going into it, like, knowing it's going to be a digital-only kind of thing, where are you guys at in terms of E3 2021? I don't want, like, fake hype or fake rage. Like, just in general, even if you don't care about it, I just kind of want to know. Like, Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, like, literally, I don't think I can care that much.
But, like, and this is coming from I don't care about E3 most of the time. Like, literally, like, I used to go and hang out with you guys all week for E3. So it's not like we don't care about E3 as a concept. It's just, I think, that the year, people aren't really... Like, people are kind of acting like this is going to be a regular E3.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should really expect too much. Like, I honestly don't expect a fucking thing out of it, really. Like, fuck, I don't know. At best, we might get some, like, weird announcement that's been waiting for, like, 4 years to happen, but yeah.
Oh man, I love those.
Metroid Prime 4!
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna be happy unless I see, like, Metroid Prime 4 or fucking Bayonetta 3.
I can't wait for the Bayonetta 3 news account to finally post something that's not nothing. Devin, what about you, though? Like, for E3, where are you kind of at in terms of, like, your headspace of, like, is it even a thing you're, like, mentally preparing yourself for, or is it just gonna be like, oh, that happened?
Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna be, oh, that's gonna happen.
What about you, Dev?
Well, I mean, I've always kind of thought ever since they closed E3 off to the public that it's just kind of been a show-off against
You mean
everything.
opened it up to the public?
Yeah. I've never really paid too close attention to E3. I don't usually watch it live unless, like, someone invites me or we hang out with you.
I force you guys. I drive down there and say, you're watching EA. You're going to look at Madden this year for an hour.
I'm not too sure about that one.
Well, at least with EA, before everything went terrible, I could at least dupe you guys into thinking BioWare would do something cool, even though they never did.
That's true. I guess you're right there.
But yeah, going into this, is there anything at all that you're, like, maybe hopefully optimistic about, if anything?
Optimistic. Is there anything I've been following? I don't know.
Scarlet Nexus.
That's true.
Tales of Arise. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Tales is not for you.
Not Tales. That would be Audri. I guess, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to Scarlet. If it's anything like God Eater and Code Vein, I'll enjoy it.
Why did they not just combine the series and call it Veiny God?
Veiny God? Because...
You could, like, make a collector's edition called the Day One Throbbing Edition.
No. I don't know.
That's okay. Audrey, what about you? Where's your E3 landing?
I'm not necessarily that hyped. I just like to see like what Bandai Namco has to show and just be like, oh, this is an interesting game announcement.
I find it interesting you pick. I don't know if it's just because we mentioned Tales, but I always think it's funny. Like Bandai Namco is such a weirdly diverse company that doesn't actually get talked about it a lot. Like obviously people talk about them for their anime games, love them or hate them, their RPGs, but then like I think people like always like forget of like stuff like they're doing the Dark Picture anthology stuff by not Supergiant, the guys who do the Until Dawn games and stuff. But I feel
are those good? I actually was kind of interested in that.
I like them. There's 2 out so far, and the 3rd's supposed to be coming out sometime either this summer or fall. But yeah, 2 are out so far. They're like super duper cheap. And if you liked Until Dawn, they're literally just more Until Dawn, but from another publisher. But it's still the same developer.
Gotcha. Oh, might do that.
Yeah, and the nice thing about those ones especially is this one, they actually added kind of more Jackbox elements of, like, you can play with your phone and, like, kind of, like, have multiplayer, whether it be online or in person, like, multiple people making a choice.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and, like, they've been working with, like, other developers and stuff with other things. Like, they worked with Don't Nod for some game that came out last year that, like, nobody talked about, but it was kind of like a Twin Peaks-y thing called, like, Twin Mirror. Like, so, like, they do a lot of, like, stuff. Like, they do, like, Little Nightmares. Like, Little Nightmares is huge, but, like, you don't hear the weep crowd of Bandai Namco really talking about it, you know?
That's true. I didn't know they did Little Nightmares. Like, I always see it,
What's
on
funny?
Twitch and stuff.
What's funny about Little Nightmares is Little Nightmares is made by, oh my god, I'm gonna Treasure or Treasure, and they worked on a bunch of Little Big Planet DLC back in the day, and that's how I knew about them. They even did the Vita version. But what's funny about them is they made the first game and the second game with Bandai Namco as the publisher, and Bandai owns the rights to it. So when they finished the second game, they got bought by THQ. And when they got bought as a developer, Bandai Namco immediately was like, "Hey guys, just letting you know, the series is still going on. It's not gonna be by the original devs, but we're still." Because yeah, like it's funny in my brain. Like I just think of Little Nightmares as like a fun, cute little like horror game series that's not that popular. But like I apparently like have missed like both games have sold like over 1 million copies and are pretty successful.
Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Bandai is one of those weird companies of like I think like they do like the interesting mix of like they do a little bit of everything, even if like you're not really into like everything exactly. And I mean, even another one with it as well. Fucking Bandai Namco has Elden Ring, like one of the most anticipated games of
news.
Yeah, we could have news. We could have Elden Ring news.
We could please
But
give us Elden Ring news.
Audrey, I have bad news for you though.
What?
What if Elden Ring is only on PS5 and Xbox Series X?
I will cry.
Could your PC run it? I know Dylan and Devon's probably could, but I don't know if your PC could.
No, my laptop, God bless it, is a potato.
It's trying. If you heard it before, it's trying. It's your laptop looks at Switch ports and goes, "Damn, that's pretty good. Look what that thing can do. See that thing run The Witcher? Man, I wish I could run The Witcher like that." Oh man, Pi Studio. Apparently, Dragon Ball Kakarot getting a Switch port. I cannot imagine that running on Switch remotely well at all. But hey, if they can make Jump Force go on Switch, I guess they can put anything on Switch. But no, yeah. So my sort of weird stance to that, as someone who's going to watch all of it and like basically treat it like a holiday. I don't get the hype that people are putting into this in a way that like really confuses me. Like, and this kind of is getting more.
They're maybe desperate.
No, 100%. Like people are like, because especially think about it, most of the gaming news this year has been for delays. Like stuff that people are getting as release dates are stuff that was supposed to come out last year. Tales was supposed to be out last year. Scarlet Nexus was supposed to be a launch game last November. So all of these games that got delayed last year due to COVID are now finally coming out. But like the new stuff and the surprising stuff, people aren't really going to get. Like, I think the most realistic announcement that's going to be big, that's like doable, would be something like a Smash Brothers reveal. But like outside of that, like because I think the thing people forget about, and this is more specifically to Smash Brothers, Smash Bros. Reveals are huge until the character's out. You guys ever notice that? Like, no matter who it is or what the character is, the Smash reveal trailer and the hype until it comes out is always bigger than when the character's out. Because when they're out, guess what? It's just a character. Like, there's not going to be some gripping narrative or spoilers out there. It's like, oh, cool. That was the character. Like, once Sakurai's done his, like, 50-minute, like, live play with himself, and you touch the character and go through arcade mode, and, like, unless you're playing it, like, competitively or whatever, you're not, like, no one is still thinking about, unless you're fucking Twitter, apparently, no one is still thinking about Byleth being added to Smash.
No, there are still people pissed off.
Well, you could be pissed off about it, but, like, the fact that they're in the game is not really news anymore.
Salt never dies, Spencer. Hype does.
Yes,
Salt does not.
That is true. So yeah, like I think the Smash thing, it could be an interesting but cheap, easy pop off. But a lot of stuff, I think people are, I don't know, like I don't get why people are like surprised how slow the news has been this year, how slow the releases have been this year. I expect it to fill out a lot more, but even with that, it's like big stuff coming this year. If you don't know about it now, you have a very small chance of it still coming out, you know? Like, I'm even at the point now where something like a Horizon 2, which was supposed to launch with the PS5, like Horizon 2, I'm like, that could probably get delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, for you guys, like, are there any, like, kind of, like, big games outside of the ones we sort of talked about, or, like, even ones that, like, haven't maybe been announced but are kind of, like, out there in the ether, like a Starfield or whatever, of, like, oh, I expect to see that at E3 and still release this year. Like, I feel like the amount of games that we're going to see at E3 and still release this year is going to be minuscule.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that statement.
I would say if it's not something that already has assets, like a remake or reimagining, I'm not really expecting new stuff. And I kind of have, like, had that mindset for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Paul and
At least anything that would grab my attention.
Paul and Monique in chat brings up a great point that I'm going to kind of get to. Expect a lot of easy ports. A lot of things that like have either been on the back burner, because they had said P4G coming to consoles, 100%. That console port's done, baby. Like the Steam, like the export Steam version to Switch, PS4, and Xbox will be instantaneous. But the reason they just hold it off is because, well, you don't have to. And so I think a lot of companies are going to do that, and Atlus especially is going to be one of those with it. Of like. The only, I think, real surprise game, and actually I'd love to talk to all of you guys about this because I think we are all Yakuza fans. I think the fact that Judgment is getting a sequel is amazing, and it is coming out this year. I will say this, though. I'm amazed how few people are skeptical about Lost Judgment. Because I have a lot of questions about how big that game is going to be, or the amount of recycled content, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I do think they're obviously going to recycle content. I mean, how else are they able to pump out a Yakuza title almost every year? But I always got to give them credit to like how they manage to still keep fresh through how they write things and how they still keep stuff wacky.
Mm-hmm. And it does help, especially because the team making Lost Judgment was not the Yakuza 7 team. Like there were separate teams when both of those were in development. Oh man, I forgot who, some popular, way more, thousands more followers on Twitter than me said this recently. Because it was, remember when the Lost Judgment news came out, they also confirmed that Yakuza will be RPG going forward. I got so like butthurt by this, but just because I'm a fucking dumb nerd who knows the behind the scenes stuff. Someone was like, think about it guys, Yakuza is going to be an RPG series going forward. So something that started as an April Fool's joke 2 years ago is now going to be a mainstay. Isn't that great? I'm like, yes, Yakuza was revealed as being an RPG in 2019, but bro, if you thought that was a joke and not their plan the entire... Like, imagine legitimately making that game an RPG in, like, a year. Like, they were working on Yakuza 7 for... Because I know we were saying, like, basically yearly releases in the West, but Yakuza 6 released, like, what, almost 4 years ago?
Yeah,
that is
like
true.
That.
So, like, Yakuza 7 was in development forever. And, like, the RPG thing was there, like, day one. Like, that was, like, a core function of the game from the get-go. So I just thought it was so funny of like someone legitimately thinking that April Fool's video was like the was like them like thinking like, hey, let's see what you guys think, because like even if you like modded it, like there's just no way to make a fun Yakuza game out of 7 and just like basically like you can't just press like make it an action game. Like it's too intrinsically tied to the whole experience.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how much you guys have really seen or kind of followed it. How did you guys feel about not Lost Judgment? How did you guys feel about Judgment's remastered visual changes? Because actually, I was in the camp of I really did not like what they did by putting all the weird filters on the next gen port.
So the next gen port, like remasters, have been really kind of awful from what I've seen.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Well, have you noticed how fucking like no one cared? Like literally, I thought it was so weird that they chose to announce it and release it before the whole hype wave for Lost Judgment. Because, like, I feel like if they had just switched the announcements around, it would have gotten a bigger pop. Like, announce Lost Judgment and Judgment Remastered at the same time in Judgment Day, release Remaster a month later, and then just keep Lost Judgment still in September. Because it's like, it came out last month, and I know no one who picked it up.
What the hell? It's like they did a complete skin tone change on Megami.
Yes, it's really ugly. And also, it's kind of more fucked up in Japan, because they straight up call it Judge Eyes Remastered. Like, I mean, if you want to consider that a remaster, good for you, I guess, but yeah, like, and also the fun thing for me, with it, well, not fun thing, like, it kind of sucks, but I mean, I know it'll go on sale and be stupid cheap eventually, even though it is $40 already now. I was excited for this PS5 port because I never played Judgment. I kept waiting. I kept waiting on Judgment just because I knew they were working on this remaster like last year, and I like kind of found out about it. And I was like, oh, I'll wait because I was already in like, man, I gotta play Yakuza shit anyway. And like, so basically, when I found out both that and Yakuza 7 were coming to PS5, I was like, oh, I'll just wait for the PS5 version, but. Like, it's just weird, too, because if you look at Yakuza 7 on PS5, they didn't make the skin look weird on that one. It's just for Judgment. Like, Judgment looks great on PS4.
Yeah.
So it's really... Especially not to have an option.
And they're both in the same engine, so it's not like they could have lost the settings for Judgment.
No.
Right?
It's literally probably someone was like, we gotta make this look visually different. Because the thing that people don't talk about with Judgment, and... this is more like kind of focused towards an American thing. Judgment sold like hot shit in America. Nobody bought Judgment like at all. It sold amazingly in Japan, and that mostly has to kind of go with the A, it was a quality release, and B, it has a lot of big name actors, even by Yakuza standards. Also, fun little side story: my old boss Greg, who still works at GameStop. He had someone trade in someone traded in a Japanese launch copy of Judge Eyes, and it was the one with the original actor who got busted for doing coke.
Oh.
Because remember, they pulled that copy. Mm-hmm. So, like, I was like, dude, what a fucking find. Because, like, I'm sure there's a million copies out there still, like, in Japan, like, on the used market and stuff. But, like, to literally just get brought into your store, just like, here you go, here's this dirt cheap PS4 game. Because, like, I'm also in the camp of, like, I always like the art a lot more for Judge Eyes than I did for Judgment. I think Judgment's art just... You look at the cover of Judgment, and you're like, okay, it's a man with broken glass of the same man's face. Like, nothing of Judge Eyes, nothing of Judgment, or even the name, like, yes, judging as in, like, lawyers and stuff, but, like, the cover of Judgment does nothing to really kind of sell you on the game. Whereas, like, look at a cover of Yakuza, and it really, really gives that, like, kind of vibe, whereas, like, Judge Eyes' cover is great. Like, it shows, like, the various cast members and stuff like that, and I always thought it was really, really great. I'm sorry, I've gone way too far and we've not talked about this, and I'm going to include Audri in this now. Because, Audri, are you much of a Judgment fan if you've played it at all?
I watched Devon play it, and I liked what I saw, but I haven't played it myself.
Okay, get ready for the hard question. I really want to know what live chat thinks of this, too. Can we all discuss the abomination that is the cover art of Lost Judgment might be the worst cover art I've seen all year.
Dude.
All right, Dylan, let me see it because I haven't seen it.
Oh my
You've
God.
not... Okay, this is a big deal. Yeah, if you've not seen
dude,
it...
The only thing I saw was the teaser trailer they recently released and the gameplay trailer. That's all I needed to see.
I'm going to say that Goatsy will forever be a, like, digital marketing nightmare.
Fun fact, I literally never knew about Goatsy until the Lost Judgment trailer. I mean, the Lost Judgment cover. And then that was a hell of a rabbit hole to look up.
Oh my god.
Dude
Oh my
looks
God.
like he's coming out of a... They could have just given him an axe and recreated
Also,
the shiny.
talking
It
about
was great.
skin color, look at the fucking hand skin next to his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, the hands look entirely out of
Photoshopped?
place.
Photoshop.
Well, yeah, obviously Photoshopped. but, like,
I want you guys all to know this, and including
They
people in
took
the live
they
chat.
took a different profile-like sketch of Yagami and put it behind and just photoshopped some hands in front of his face.
I
He should be
contacted
leaning in to open that, and it's not.
I contacted someone at Sega I know who's working on this game in graphic design, and I was like, hey, obviously off the record, not gonna say who this was. I said, hey, be honest, you guys didn't do that cover, did you? Because I was like, no self-respecting graphic designer would look at that cover and go like, nailed it. Like no one, because if you notice, it's the same cover in Japan as it is in America. So my theory was always someone in Japan saw that, because I was talking to someone on Twitter as well, and they were like, it's very reminiscent to something you'd see out of like a Japanese drama you'd find on Netflix or something like that. And I'm like, that's very true. Like those always have very like stupid sort of setup posters and stuff like that, and so I get it.
Really?
Why they are
Man,
keeping
I hope
that.
that was a work. I wish that was a work in progress.
I
What
cannot
happened to
get
those?
over.
We used to get those, right?
Used to get what?
This cover art is a work in progress. and stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it is confirmed. It is ugly. It is not changing. I have had it confirmed. It has to be the same worldwide. Japan is very adamant about they have a great cover. This is a call out to everybody. Dylan, I'm just going to send this to you to make it easier. Audri, I'm assuming you've seen the steelbook for Lost Judgment, or no?
Please tell me
I
that
have.
his hands are embossed. That's the only reason why I'd want it.
No, thank
not
God
sure.
it is not. America made a new cover for this steelbook, and this cover is way better. I love this cover. So I'll send it to you as well, Audrey, in a second. But yes, Best Buy has the exclusive steelbook for Lost Judgment. It works the same way as Zakuza 7 and Persona 5 Strikers, so if you just pre-order it, you'll get it for free. I think that cover looks much, much better. I sent it to Dylan just because I thought it'd be easier to share.
Okay.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah,
yes.
this looks really
Yes,
good.
see? They
Yeah, no,
literally
that
just
does
took
look
that picture of Yagami and put Photoshop's fists in front of his face.
Yeah, and like the whole thing with it, and this goes back to my thing of like, this at least tells you a tone, you know? Like this kind of
Yeah.
like here's the gallery of characters. It's got like a grimy, dirty look to it and everything else like that. So like the fact that you have these two covers next to each other, it's like, okay. I think even the way I think even the way I tweeted it was like, it's not even an option. If you live in America, you have to get the steelbook, because that cover, like, no one will proudly display that cover. Like, if they made that as a poster, they'd be like, no thank you, you can cover that up, I'm good.
I agree. I'm going to mentally burn this into my brain that I need to get that steelbook.
But, will you guys be playing it on PS5 or PS4?
PS4.
There you go. The sensible man answering. Audrey, what'd you think of the steelbook? I sent it over to you as well.
I like how the steelbook looks. It looks nice.
Plus, it's free, which also makes it a lot easier of a case in terms of selling it to people. Also, if anyone's holding out, because I know people hold out on weird stuff like this, there will be no collector's edition in the States at all. Just kind of goes back to the whole thing of Judgment sold really, really terribly, so be surprised you're getting anything at all. Paul and Benigno, this will not be in Canada. This is another one of those cases of it is just Best Buy in America, so everyone internationally will have to pick it up on the secondhand market, unfortunately. If it's anything like Yakuza 7, though, like, literally, my Best Buys all in the Midwest are still flooded with Yakuza 7 steelbooks, so it won't be like Strikers, where at least, like, they can print one size and print a whole bunch, because they're going to have to print some for PS4, PS5, and Xbox. Oh, yeah, as you guys are, like, kind of PC, like, were you guys miffed at all that Judgment is on Stadia only right now and not PC? Like, would you guys have wanted to play Judgment on PC, or are you good with your PS4 version?
I platinumed it, so there's your answer for me.
Okay.
I just want to see the fucking mods people put in the game.
That would
That
be
is
fun,
true.
especially for all the dancing shit that is in that game. That would be actually really good. I still get a lot of, like, really funny, like, I tweeted about it, what was it, maybe like 2 months ago? Whenever they announced Judgment Remastered was only going to be coming to PS5, Xbox, and Stadia. And I thought it was so funny, like, it never got picked up as, like, a news thing anywhere, because I guess sources LOL me. But I broke the news that the only reason it's not on Steam is because that was one of Stadia's last deals with Sega, is that they had paid Sega money to have it exclusive. I think it's for 3 to 6 months. And it's just really funny, like, every now and then someone will find that tweet. They don't follow me, just someone will be... I'm hoping it's someone on Twitter just types in, oh, fuck, man. Why can't I play Judgment on Steam? And they'll just type it in on Twitter, and I'm the only thing that comes up, and then someone will just either retweets it or, like, replies to it, be like, this is stupid! Like, I get it at least, like, once a week now, and it's been, like, months since I put that out there. It's so funny. Yeah, I think that's about it for, like, Lost Judgment talks outside of, like, I'm excited. I'm assuming, Dev, just by you having not even seen the cover, are you just on media blackout? You're like, I'm gonna buy it, I'm just not gonna look at it?
Devon's been very busy with
Life.
what you see before you.
That is true.
Don't say that. She's a work in progress.
Will
How dare
she
you.
will she be playing Lost Judgment? That's the next
hell
question. Okay.
I'm doing Mass Effect Trilogy 2. I just don't know if it'll be immediately when it comes out this weekend.
This is really dumb, but I'm going to throw this out there because I know most people don't care. Who's actually playing Mass Effect Trilogy on console, or are you guys just going to pick it up on PC?
I got it on console.
Oh, okay, no,
pretty
that's
bomb.
cool. Did you see the trophy list for it?
No.
Oh my god. So, shout out to whoever did this over at BioWare. It has 4 trophy sets. It has the original trophy set for 1, 2, and 3, and they made a whole new set of trophies just for the remastered one of all of the games. So there's all of the original achievements that you can now re-get, but they're also made a whole brand new set with that, and that also has its own platinum.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you want to invest 150 hours into getting 4 platinums, the Mass Effect collection, I guess, will take your money very gladly.
I more than likely will. I've played that game enough without even trying to aim for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Weird question. It's just, you're going to start with 1. I can't, like, I've seen some people who are like, oh, I'm jumping into 2, or I'm going to do 3. Like, it seems weird to, like, buy that and not just do 1.
For shame on them. Especially since they put more work in 1. That's, like, the whole reason to even get this.
True. But yeah, so E3 stuff, kind of going back to it. So, everyone is getting their panties in a twist about... And I almost had to, like, do a double take of, like, when I was seeing people unironically being like, oh my god, they're going to announce a new Persona game, they're going to announce a new Persona thing, they're going to announce, like, 25th anniversary stuff, they're going to announce SMT5's release date, and blah, 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 blah. Of, like, all these things of, like, I can't imagine, like, why I'm just, like, so... I don't know, maybe I'm just cynical or jaded for it, but, like, even when I saw that, like, Atlus was going to be there, I immediately just kind of knew, I don't know what's going to be there, but whatever is there will disappoint people, and it will be nothing that exciting. And to be fair, as, like, a classifier, I am also someone who didn't classify, like, I don't think P4G coming to Steam was a big deal. I don't think something like a Nocturne HD, in retrospect, was really a big deal. So, ports I always want, but I don't think people aren't going to look at ports unless they like actually put in the effort, which they've never really shown is going to happen. But like I just expect nothing but just kind of like I expect like breadsticks from Olive Garden. That's what I expect. I expect Atlus to give us all you can eat breadsticks to just load us up and not hopefully realize that SMT is not coming out this year.
Yeah, like at best we're gonna get like a SMT5 trailer that's just Lucifer giving us the fucking finger.
Well, and also the interesting thing about it is it doesn't have to show up at E3. Because think about it, it's not like Atlus is going to be like making a press conference, which, oh my god, if they did, I hope they do, just because I know it would be really bad. Every video package they've ever done, or anything they've been a part of that had a video package, like literally, unless Nintendo was doing it for them, Atlus has just done really, really bad at showing off their games. The only reason I give them a little bit of a pass with Lost Judgment is because that was a Japanese thing that they kind of did coordinated with them all. But like most of the time, if Atlus is doing a live stream, and this goes for Sega West as well, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad. Like who here is actually like a Sonic fan? Like not like a ironic Sonic fan of like, oh, I like some Sonic games.
Yeah. I'm gonna admit it. It's gonna be me.
Okay,
Audri. The
Audri.
movie has really helped.
Oh, that is true. But then think about it like this, guys. No one's really talked about this fact, but we all kind of have to realize Sega's literally just going to announce Sonic Colors Remastered at E3. There's not going to be a Sonic Anniversary, like, Adventure 3, at least maybe teased, but, like, for the anniversary year, they literally have just kind of done a wet fart and went, oh fuck, what can we port really quick? And that's going to be Colors HD.
Yeah. At best, we get, like, an actual... At best, we hopefully get a Colors 2, but that's, like, asking way too much, I think.
No, yeah, I think, like... And especially for, like... I think if you're doing a sequel to announce on an anniversary year, you'd at least, like, why not do Generations 2? Because especially, like, Jesus Christ, it's like... No offense, you kind of fucked it up so bad with, Forces. Like, Forces was supposed to be Generations 2. It was just so bad, it just never was. And, like, this is coming from someone who loves Sonic Colors. Like, I think even if they were doing everything right, which obviously this will never happen, but, like, here's a way you could resell Sonic Colors this year, and it would be really cool. You do Sonic Colors Remastered HD whatever edition. Add some quality of life stuff, obviously. Controller support will be nice. Actually make it, like, 4K assets, because it was only on Wii and DS. And include the DS port, too. Like, hey... That DS port's a whole different game. Like, I played Sonic Colors on DS before I ever played the Wii one. I love those old 2D, like, DS and GBA ones. Like, Sonic Rush Adventure, and Sonic Advance. All of those are really fun. Like, why not just bundle both together and sell it for $40? Because, like, Sonic... Because Sonic has not had a good game, like, respectfully since Mania, which I always have to remind people, they literally didn't even fucking make themselves.
Yeah, like, that was literally a fan project that was, like, given real money.
Well, real money with, like, quotation marks, because, yeah, then the bullshit of, like, they kind of did screw over the devs a little bit in terms of, like, they gave them a little bit of money beforehand, and then when it blew up, they were like, okay, you can do Plus, and then we're never going to give you any more money, because it was, they literally contracted them out. Like, I'm sure... Like, the devs were just happy to do it, and, like, they don't, like, publicly complain about it. But, like, if you look up the stuff for Sonic Mania, it's really stupid, like, how they weren't able to do anything else for it, or they still have not been, like, officially greenlit for a sequel, which is, like, the most brain rot idea I've ever heard of.
Yeah, like, Sonic is best in a 2D format, and then, like, whenever, you know, as we saw fans get a hold of the projects, it just does really well. But Sega just doesn't want to do that, I guess.
Yeah. Also, kind of going back to the Lost Judgment thing, because, like, obviously Atlus and Sega in the West, they are the same company, so that's just the whole thing. Why not hold Lost Judgment for E3? Like, there's clearly nothing bigger than Lost Judgment for Atlus or Sega this year. That's like that is their big game. So, like, why blow your load a month early?
I have no clue. I think it's because, like, the Japanese announcements, they just don't give a shit. Like,
that's true.
Directly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
What about Tokyo Game Show? Or did
Well,
that already happen?
Tokyo Game Show is still happening this year, but it is only going to be digital again like last year. So it's going to be pretty small, and there's not really going to be a lot of news. Also, TGS is literally just going to be, depending on when it is. No, actually, Lost Judgment will be out before TGS. So there is a chance they could maybe announce something for 2022 at TGS, but I feel like TGS even more than E3. I always have to tell people, don't watch it. Watch the stuff for TGS if you want, but like it's not something I'd ever tell anyone to stay up for. Like TGS announcements are just so few and far between, which really sucks because like they used to be great, especially like back when the Vita was really big. Like Sony would do great TGS shows of like announcing a bunch of new shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it just sucks like that. Like as a company, I have just negative faith in them because like even the last E3 they were present at. Like, do you guys even remember what Atlus did for E3 2019?
Apparently not.
So yeah, pretty bad, and not because of the games they brought, but because their booth was literally just half of it was directed for Persona 5 Royal, and all they could show was the same trailer looping endlessly. There was no gameplay because it wasn't out yet. They hadn't been able to show anything because it was just announced like a month earlier in Japan. And the other half of it was for the very ill-fatedly titled Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020. So their booth was dedicated to half of a game that no one wants, and the other one is the one everyone wanted to play, but no one could do anything with. Now, actually, to be fair, they did show Catherine Full Body, and they also showed off Persona Q2. Q2 had already been out for a while, and Full Body was obviously just like an enhanced port, but that was also out in Japan. Also, Audri, you got Q2. Do you remember how Q2 had that weird thing of like Amazon shipped a bajillion copies early?
Yes, and my box was a little dinged.
True, but that's just Amazon being Amazon. But like, didn't you get that like in May? Like it shipped really early.
I think so. Yeah, it's been so long. I need to go back and finish that game. Honestly, I stopped in the middle of it.
But yeah, like other stuff like that. The only other thing they had is they had a couple of demo booths for Judgment, but even that, like Judgment was going to be out in like a couple of weeks. So their last E3 showing was pretty small. And it kind of sucks because like Atlus is, and even Sega as a company, Atlus and Sega, their history is if they are not included in a press conference, you would never know they were there. They have a very small booth. They used to actually involve a lot of partners where they would invite other companies back when they would publish a lot of other stuff. So companies like PM Games or NIS would sometimes maybe hook up their booths with Atlus to kind of like, hey, we're like the really niche, like small Japanese game corner. And then it just sort of slowly devolved into what Persona thing can we throw in the booth this year to bring people over. And I mean, it sucks, but it makes sense. It's like obviously like that's like their big money maker. But even I'll never forget this. The year Yakuza 0 was at E3, I think it was 2017 or 2016 because it released in 2017. E3 2016, Yakuza 0 had 2 TVs dedicated to just like, hey, here's the game, check it out early if you want. And it was famously empty. There was never a line. No one wanted to check out Yakuza 0, and which then made it even funnier because then the people who did check it out were like, "Oh my god, this thing's fucking great! You guys gotta like check this out." And then like when it came out like earlier next year, it was like this huge thing. But like they just never really knew what to kind of hone in on as like even when they had like a hit on their hands, which was always like a really big shame. Like the last time I can think of like Atlus doing something kind of fun and smart at E3 was 2015 was the year they did, and they even did this at a couple of different anime conventions, but do you guys remember when Dancing All Night came out, and they had, like, their booth was just a dance floor where you could just, like, have a dumb video of yourself dancing with Teddy? Like, that was, like, the last time I remember them doing something fun.
That's the last thing I remember them doing something like that too. I thought though they did like maybe it was over in Japan, but I thought they did a rendition of Kamurocho's Alleyway for 6. Like the hall.
Oh,
like,
yes, that
hall
would
or
be
something like
Japan.
that.
That would be Japan.
Of course, it was Japan.
Also, shout out to Japan, TGS 2019? No, E3, no, TGS 2018, I'll never forget. The booth is like all-time best booths of all time. It is Ren lifting up her skirt, and you have to walk through Ren's lifted up skirt to get into the booth to play the game. 10 out of 10, and obviously Atlus West would like never do that here, because apparently Ren you couldn't touch with like a 10-foot pole in terms of marketing. But yeah, that like stuff like that was always fun. Like the Yakuza marketing is always way, way, way better in Japan than it is here. I don't know how like you guys feel. I feel like Yakuza, I'm glad it's doing better financially, but I feel like in terms of how they advertise it, it always feels like it hits the mark. I feel like it misses the mark. Like, I remember being really cringed out by, like, the ads for Yakuza 7 of, like, be who you want to be. Like, this game is crazy. It's nothing but memes and lobsters. Look at that goat head. That's a weird goat head. Or, like, for me, like, when I think of selling Yakuza 7, I'm like, think of, like, the narrative. Think of the characters. Think of the battle system. Like, yeah, Yakuza's always weird and goofy, but, like, when you look at how even something like Kiwami 2 in Japan, look at all the work we did at these new cutscenes, the gameplay engine being changed, and all this stuff from 6 we've learned. And then when Kiwami 2 was being sold in America, it was like, we added Majima! You know that weird guy? He's in the game! Look, he's chasing you! Isn't that crazy? It's like,
I
yeah.
can see that.
No
the
thanks.
marketing is so different. Ever since Yakuza 0 hit off, they like kind of changed the marketing between the Japanese and the US.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, like, it's at least one of those things of, like, I think the marketing just does not matter for a game like that. Like, you don't need to make ads for Yakuza. Yakuza is, and they're like, at least for me, it's like always been like, the reason Yakuza finally popped off with 0 wasn't because the game got good or something. Like, the games have always been quality. It's because social media finally started sharing them in a way that, like, picked up traction.
Yeah.
It got in the hands of influencers and the reviewers that pulled traction, and the group that they have on them actually went and tried it out.
So, kind of like bringing this back, though, in a hopeful, positive, like, marketing spin. So, being more realistic, if each of us could give, like, one piece of advice, or if we were in charge and could do one thing this year, what is a realistic thing that you think Atlus or Sega could do to actually, like, make a win for E3 this year? Whether it be showing something, announcing something, doing something fun. Like, what's something you guys think might be fun? I'll give you guys mine really quick and let you all think about it. I thought it would be a really great one. This will never happen, but would be really, really great and realistic. They will drop a demo for Lost Judgment that is streaming only. Obviously, you can stream on consoles or Stadia, Steam, whatever. It's like one of those, you can play the demo, but only if you're connected online kind of things. And you can play the new high school area of, what is it, Yokohama is where the high school is, right?
Yes.
You can mess around with a mission in the high school area, and you can play it for 30 minutes. It's just open. You got a couple of missions to choose from, and you can play it for 30 minutes, and there you go.
Yes, 30 missions.
So
30 missions only.
So take the Resident Evil approach, basically.
No, not timed. Of like, you can only do it between now and now. Like, obviously, it would be like whenever the online servers are up. But like, it's just like a 30-minute demo in terms of, hey, do whatever you want. But not in terms of you gotta be. It's set.
You mean Resi 2, not
Resi
like
2.
8.
Well, no, yeah. Well, Resi 2 did it too, but it was not the online factor thing for it. Yeah, so it's like it's a like, don't worry about the time as much of like, don't think of it like there's the active timer still going. Like, you could still replay that, go back and do the 30 minutes again. It's more of like how demos would do it back in the day of like PS2 and PS3 of like, when you've played to the point where they want you to, the screen fades to black and then it's like, thanks for playing, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. So like the old
less focus on countdown, more focused on, hey, you're just doing as much as you want to do, and you can replay it again and again and again. I think that would be good for the Sega side, and then for the Atlus side, this one would be a little bit harder. But I think for the Atlus side is just either line something up for a shadow drop, or maybe like if you want to be really easy and get a win, have Persona 3 and 4 drop on Game Pass. Or something like that. Like, add something on Game Pass, do something what else. Like, something like that would be easy, still make you money, and could be, like, a quick, easy release, but would not have, like, a dumb wait or something like that. Because, like, Atlus is not going to announce any new games. They're not going to show off anything people are going to, like, lose their pants over. And if Nintendo doesn't show SMT5, then you're not going to see anything SMT5. So that's like kind of their like respective like thing for it in terms of if you want a cheap, easy win. And even if you don't like Game Pass, that's just like, it's just good news for good news sake. Like even me, like I don't have Game Pass, but having more people play that is always like a positive. Like for me, when I saw Final Fantasy came to Game Pass, like you remember when fucking Microsoft announced that with Square, they were like, hey, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-2, 12, and 15 are all going to be on Game Pass for free. Like, that's a fucking... Like, that was huge. I was like, man, that's great. So that is my dumb idea. Who would like to lead off the dumb ideas of hopefully not losing E3?
Dylan?
Oh, God. Fuck, I don't know what the hell I'd want out of these people.
These people.
Well, do Sega first. Sega's easier.
Yeah, Sega is much easier. Atlus, you have a lot less to work with.
Puyo Puyo 3.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just get Puyo Puyo 3 on.
Oh, Dylan, you could go for the easy one, for Virtual Fighter 5 esports.
Fuck Virtual Fighter 5.
You know it's got to come out eventually.
No, that game's fine as having its only port in, like, Yakuza 6 and Judgment.
And 7. Don't forget 7.
Oh, yeah, right, you're right. God, dude, I don't know. I just want, like, Sonic Advanced 1, 2, 3, and 4, like, full collector edition.
That would be pretty easy, too. Like, just do, like, what Capcom did. Remember when they ported Mega Man Zero to DS and just made, like, all of them in that? Like, you don't gotta do a lot. Like, it'd be cool if you did a lot, but, like, even if you just bundle, it's fun.
Yeah. Atlus... I want them to like just drop a Devil Summoner 3 like full trailer.
With, like, yeah, that's right. You really, really like that series.
Devil Summoner or Devil Survivor. Any of the DSs would make me happy.
Yeah, Survivor, not Summoner. You hate Summoner.
Yeah, I hate Summoner. Survivor's great.
You love Raito is what you're telling me, though. You can't wait to play with Raito next month.
Dude, Raito kicks so much ass. It's a shame his games suck so hard.
That's at least, like, not his fault. That's more of just, like, Atlus making bad action games. But, like, hey, don't be that surprised. Like, I mean, it's, like, the only complaint you could really say if you're being, like, fair to Atlus is they should have at least warned people of saying, hey, just a heads up, this is the Mockin' guys. So don't... this is not Devil May Cry. This is the Mockin' team.
Oh god, imagine if, like, fucking Itsuno got a hold of Devil Summoner.
It'd be great, though. It'd be really great.
I mean, V's already right there. He summons demons and he fights things.
And they have crossed over with Atlus stuff before. V is canon in DX2 for some godforsaken reason. Audri, what about you? What's your realistic but hopeful plans for Sega Atlus at E3?
Man, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, like, some Sonic ports would be cool. Maybe Devon, I don't know, like Unleashed, which sounds crazy, but I liked Unleashed. Atlus, I don't know. Because I feel like a port of, like, Persona 3 would be nice, but it's hard to think of.
Well, I have good news for you. That Persona 3 port is done and is just kind of waiting for someone to finally put it on Steam. So it's happening. It's just a matter of when it's happening. I just don't get why they waited so long. Like, I thought it was a good E3 drop for P4 last year, but this is not like a series where you should wait a whole calendar year to port your old PS2 ports, you know? Like you're not that big of a deal for a re-release. Like, no offense, Persona 3. Like, Persona 3, when it does finally come to PC, it's not going to do Persona 4 Golden numbers. I'm
No,
sorry. I'm
it's
sorry to
not.
break that to people.
No, it won't.
I think if it ends up launching on consoles at the same time, I'm sure it will destroy with a lot more help that way. But I think there was a lot of factors that went into for Golden doing as well as it did on Steam. I think the surprise, the timing, it was a quiet summer in E3 with a summer without E3, and the fact that it was literally only on the Vita, so it was like, hey, you can finally play this if you don't have the Vita. So 3 at least is like, not even thinking of emulation, you literally have 3 versions of 3 to play legally.
Fair.
Dev, what about you though? What are you hoping to see from either?
Sega. Oh my god, I thought I had something in mind for them. No, it's Atlus. I actually have something in mind. I would really love a return to DDS.
Yeah, and that's such a weird one of like, I mean, again, goes into the thing of, I get why they did Nocturne. Nocturne's easier, it's cheaper, everything glitches aside and whatnot. But like, if they just fucking bundled DDS and threw it in a shitty HD collection, I'd fucking eat that up. Like, DDS is so good. It already has voice acting. You don't really got to do much with it. The translation was pretty good. Like, just put that on more systems, and can we please fucking get more games in that world, because fucking Quantum Devil Saga is just sitting there waiting for you guys.
It's got a lot to work with, and I feel like it's kind of overlooked a bit, at least like when compared to Nocturne. Or maybe it's just me.
No, I get that as well. Sorry, I had a message of like, I had a moment and I read a message wrong, and I wasn't sure whether to be horrified and run into the other room or laugh really quick. Someone had just messaged me and I misread it, hearing them say, "I was brushing my teeth and I vomited up hot Cheetos," and I thought it was my wife saying that, and it was the person she was talking to. I just read the message wrong, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's okay. It's not my bed."
It's not your problem.
Not my problem. God forbid that person who was brushing their teeth and had hot Cheeto in their mouth enough to vomit, so wherever you are, thoughts and prayers are with you. But no, I totally agree with you with the Nocturne comparison.
Yeah, so that would be like the big thing I'd like from Atlus. That's not as hard to do, I would say. Like, I'd probably shit my pants if they did do a full remake for P3, you know, use the assets that they put them in
That's
from
like
the
the
Dancing
one
game.
that everyone always mentions they want remaked, and like, I get it for 7, like FF7, like how that had people begging for years. I just don't get why people want a P3 remake.
The thing is I think it'd be a lot more effort, because they have to take in consideration the vanilla along with Fez and portable, and then Tartarus is definitely outdated.
Oh, it's very outdated.
They'd actually have to design a dungeon.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, who do you get to do that? Like, yeah, you could farm it out to like another company to do it, but I think they'd probably be too anal about everything and want to do it internally. But then if you do it internally, then you have no one to make Persona 6, you know? Because basically your only free team right now is the team who made P5R, and everything I've heard tells me that they want to do the team who did P5R did P4G, and that they will be working on Persona 6, since the P5 team is working on Project Refantasy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a fantasy dream. I know it's probably not even going to happen. It's also just based off of where their profits are going to make the most, and yeah, out of the 3 most recent titles, P3 definitely doesn't make as much in comparison.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm like easy. I'm like, when it comes to stuff that I just want really, really bad and I still don't think will happen, even though it would be easy, it's just like, just fucking make a trilogy port of Persona 1 and the 2 duology from PSP and just put that on everything.
I fucking wish.
It would just be the easiest cash grab of all time. Like, PSP emulators are fucking a dime a dozen. Put that in Unity, put it on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and then everyone can finally play the entire series from its beginning. Like, call it the fucking Persona Origin Collection. It's the fucking 25th anniversary, and then just go on with your life, and people will then never have an excuse to say, oh, we didn't get Persona 1 or 2. And then also, it's an easy win because you can finally fucking release that PSP port of Eternal Punishment that no one fucking played. Well, because, like, I get mad, like, in not, like a way it actually matters thing of, like, I get mad when I think about that Eternal Punishment remake. That's a great game, and fucking no one talks about it because it's only in Japan.
Well, technically it's only in Japan.
Well, yeah,
Remember,
but, like...
You can play the PlayStation version.
No, specifically the PSP remake is great. And it's one of those dumb things of, like, man, I don't think people realize how long Japan was holding out on PSP versions of games.
Yeah.
Like,
so, okay, I've actually played Eternal Punishment, like, pretty much all the way through, and it fucking sucks on the PlayStation.
it's not great.
It's so rough.
No elaboration, it just sucks for sucking, saying you didn't want to defend your case at all?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like, that game is a bastard to play, like, on PlayStation.
Technically, it's very rough, too. It does not hold up technically at all. Not even, like, presentation-wise, but, like, it's pretty... It feels pretty loosey-goosey in terms of, like, what's holding it together.
Yeah. It's just such a bastard. Like, it's hard to talk about, even, like, without...
Well, and it sucks that that's literally the only version of that story we can experience, because the PSP version in English of Innocent Sin is great. Like, they did a great job localizing Innocent Sin.
Yeah.
And so then just to tell people, oh, hey, play the original only, though. It's just kind of like a big fuck you.
Yeah, and even then, like, there's also the weird localization shit with Eternal Punishment in the PlayStation version, like, with dialogue, and just nothing makes fucking sense in comparison if you play both of them.
Yeah. The only saving grace is I always find that voiceover, the voice cast for 2, I think, is just very unintentionally funny in all the wrong ways.
Yeah, I can say that.
But yeah, that's kind of it for E3 stuff. Moral of the story, if you're listening to this, just please be excited for E3, but just know that the bar needs to be lower than what you would put for a... Put it at... Alright, here's a great way to go into this E3, and I hope everyone can, like, just clip this out and just remember this for the next month. E3 2021 should go in with the same amount of hype you all did after watching that Nintendo Partner Direct that was just for fucking Bakugan. That's the level of hype you should go into it with. Expect Bakugan on Switch levels of hype, and you will not be disappointed.
I wasn't even aware they had a partnership for Bakugan.
Yeah, it was a exclusive Nintendo Switch game for Bakugan, developed by WayForward, the fucking masterminds of either doing great games by themselves or shitty games paid for by other companies. But, yeah, so... Oh, also, it did release and, like, absolutely nobody played it or talked about it, which I just always find really funny. But, yeah, so go into it with that. Hopefully you will be happy, or at least not hate your wallet, or... Because, like, I always hate when you see that stuff of, like, people coming out of an E3 either pissed or disappointed, of like, God, like, I really wanted to see X or Y, or, oh, this should have been there. Like, for me, as someone who, like, has been covering and just watching stuff like this for so long, I go into everything expecting nothing. I never go into a thing being like, if X isn't here, it fucking sucks. Because if you go into it with that mentality, it's like, imagine, like, think about it like this, guys. Imagine if every E3 I watched, I was like, God, I hope we get a Vita game. I would be so disappointed. There hasn't been a Vita game at E3 since fucking... And I'm not counting Limited Run, because that doesn't count. There has not been an E3 with Vita game since Undertale got announced that year.
Lol.
But yeah, so that's the moral of the story. Do we got time? I know it's kind of getting late, but do you guys have time for questions before we wrap up?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm open.
I wasn't sure how old we were going to be tonight. I'm an old man and I need to sleep
What?
soon. But
I
that
can stay up.
okay. What's
Yeah,
like your
I'm
guys'
thinking-
normal bedtime? Be honest.
My normal bedtime is 10:30, but I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, like I usually don't go to bed until like midnight.
All right. Let me get. Oh, by the way, drink of the night. I'll thinking of you, Dylan. Do you remember when Mountain Dew did a 3 flavor in 1 drink with Code Red, Whiteout, and Voltage?
Oh god.
Do you remember what this was
Like
called?
Blue? Do?
It was Dew SA, and
That's right.
they finally brought it back this year. And I just distinctly remember drinking it a lot the summer it came out with you because it was a little too good for its own sake. Which is really saying a lot because I fucking hate Code Red. I think Code Red is like one of the worst soda flavors I've ever had in my life.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, so our first question, unfortunately, is not about Mountain Dew. Wait, before I say that though, Dev, let me see if I can get this right. Was that
Yes.
one Mountain Dew flavor you really, really liked forever ago? Was it Whiteout?
Yes, I was actually gonna bring that up. I still won't really drink soda unless there's a whiteout.
Really? Okay. Now, Audrey, I don't think I've ever had any memory of you playing any. Trying to think. Are you like any much of a soda drinker at all?
I don't drink it often, but I like Dr. Pepper, Baja Blast.
I appreciate the first answer for Dylan and the second answer for me, so both of those are excellent choices. Just please never together. That sounds absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I think I'd die.
But yeah, so our first questions come from Discord. This one is by 481. It says, "What are you expecting from the Square Enix panel, and why? And why the answer is definitely not going to be Babylon's Fall." F's in the F's in the chat for anyone who's a Platinum game fan expecting Babylon's Fall. Do you guys remember Babylon's Fall, by the way? Because like it's okay if you don't. Like it was announced forever
I
ago.
straight up don't. No,
Dylan, I hear you typing. Are you looking it up?
I was going to. Yeah.
It was there's really not much out there. They've like had 2 trailers over the last like 2+ years, and they're very teasery. Literally all we know is it's the Automata team making a new IP for Square, and they somehow did not want to do Nier or something, I guess, or maybe Yoko Taro was just busy making gacha games. But yeah, so the funny thing about it though is there's literally like no info about it. And so it's like, think of like all the hype and attention for Bayonetta 3 with Babylon's Fall, but literally no one cares about it.
Oh.
But like it's Platinum, like I'm sure it'll be good when it comes out. It's just one of those things of like it's like no idea. It's like do you remember when, oh my god, I forgot the name. Dylan, you might have to save me on this one. Grand Blue was going to make a game. They still are making a game for and it was being made by Platinum, but then Platinum took their name off of the game, but it's still being made apparently.
It's called Relink, if I recall.
Yes!
correctly.
Is that,
It's
by the way,
action game.
is that Psy Games, the guys who do Grand Blue?
So yeah, Side Games did Grand Blue, and then they took Platinum off the Relink game.
But apparently their work they did for it is still there.
Yeah, they're still using like some of the work they've done for it, and they just like took them off the project entirely. I think it was due to like some internal conflict or some shit like that. But it's like all behind closed doors, and they're just off of it now.
So, fun fact, as I'm bringing this up, this all comes back. It's almost like I'm playing this podcast ahead of time. Zone of the Enders 2, the PS4 port, do you know who developed it?
Oh fuck, it's Platinum, isn't it?
No, that would be funny. Psy Games made this. Yes, their logo's even on the back. It's really weird.
What the shit? That's weird.
Yeah. So, really, really weird stuff. But, so yeah, Square Enix conference, man. I don't get to talk about it as much because this is a fucking Atlus show. Man, Square Enix is just like eternally on a gold mine. There's always something to get excited about from them, whether it be their Western stuff or like their Eastern stuff. So I'll let you guys go. Like, what are you expecting or hoping to see from Square? Because literally, I feel like the sky's the limit. Like, we could see anything this year.
Maybe like a tease for Remake 2.
Oh my god, I hope so. Because think about it, like, the week of E3 is when Intergrade comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, Final Fantasy 16, obviously.
Oh, I have to ask you guys, because you're all peasants. How do you guys feel about Intergrade having exclusive story stuff on PS5? Because Yuffie will not be DLC on PS4.
I think it sucks.
That's when I go to PC, duh.
But it's not on PC.
Well, I'll wait till I die.
Like, obviously, it's going to come there eventually, but it's just one of those things that, like, man, either good on Sony or fucking way to go Square or whatever for, like, having the balls at least to, like, making that port worthwhile. Of, like, even if that DLC is only, like, 10 hours long, like, shout out to them, like, just kind of committing to, hey, if we're making you rebuy this game, we're making this, like making it matter. So good on them. Because, like, they kind of, like, won the best of both worlds with the PS5 port of 7. Because, like, the port to PS5 is free if you already have it. And it's just the Yuffie stuff that's charged. So it's, like, unless, like, basically, it's the only way to make every PS5 owner happy. Because, like, basically, you're almost guaranteed to have it if you haven't bought it already. And then if you are buying it, you're getting a ton of new content.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant from, like, the marketing and sales aspect, but goddamn, it sucks for a consumer.
Yeah, although I was, like, still thinking about, like, how crazy is it that Sony extended the marketing and exclusivity deal for like, this game is now going to be exclusive to that console for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's not like Square's like, oh, guys, don't worry, it's coming to PC after 6 months. It's like, even when that 6 months is up, there's no guarantee it's coming to other systems right away. Like, there's nothing stopping Sony from just being like, hey, it's selling really well on our system. How about we just keep making it exclusive forever?
Yeah. Which I'm totally fine with, because, like, I appreciate the exclusivity, like, of console stuff, but, yeah. I don't know. In, like, this day and age, I feel like the sales of making it more widely available would benefit overall.
I think at least with Remake's in a weird situation where, because it's not all out yet, at the very least, it kind of helps those people who are maybe trepidatious about, like, jumping into it. Of, like, hey man, like, let's say the PC port won't happen until the game's just done. Well, and obviously, like, Remake is a full-on game. I'm not one of those dum-dums who think Remake is just, like, half of a game. Like,
Right.
But, like, let's say if ports to other systems didn't happen until that whole story is told, I think that's fine. Like, yeah, it sucks you gotta wait, but, like, you're going to get a mammoth of a fucking game. It's probably gonna be, like, half a terabyte.
Say, like,
Yeah, the amount of content you get for that purchase is fucking insane.
it's gonna take you a year to download it all.
Mhm. So, yeah, Audrey, what about you, though? What's your Square hope?
Well, we were talking in the pre-show, but my excitement is happening this Friday for something I'm very excited for, but that's 14 related. I guess more 16 news would be nice, because I'm pretty excited for that. It looks really cool. I'm trying to think of what else Square is working on.
The game that's not Project Athia anymore. I always forget what it's called.
I mean, I was gonna jokingly say Drakengard remakes, but that's not happening.
No way, Jose. No way.
There's way too much shit that would not, like, fly in this day and age in old Drakengard games.
Hey,
Are you
that's the
saying
thing.
are you saying incest isn't marketable anymore?
Yeah, and neither is, like, killing children, like, on screen.
Understandable. I can respect that.
I mean, fair.
Dev, what about you though? What are you hoping?
Square? I mean, I'd always keep my eye out for Final Fantasy series entry news, but...
What's your hype level at for 16?
Huh?
Like, where are you at for 16 right now?
Maybe a 7? 6 or a 7? I don't know.
I'm
like,
sorry.
I-
I'm sorry. The Pie Studio Balan Wonderland
What?
DLC would actually be amazing.
With your heart of hearts, what do you want from Square?
What? Oh! Yeah, that's never gonna fucking happen.
Wait, which one?
They already ported it, like, what, twice?
What was it?
Final Fantasy 9.
I mean, yeah, that's tough. Like, no offense, I love 9, but 9 doesn't really need a remake. You know?
Like, yeah, it's like the absolute pinnacle of like the PlayStation Square formula. But I feel like if there's a Final Fantasy game at this point that deserves a remake status, it's either 6 or 9.
Well, you see, the pinnacle of the PlayStation 1 generation of Final Fantasies was the only one to get remastered. That's why 8, the best one, is the only one that was remastered.
Yes.
8 sucks so fucking hard. That game is
8.
carried by a side card game.
Disagreeing
And that's
vocally.
coming from someone who absolutely hates 9s.
Triple Triad, baby.
Triple Triad is the best minigame in any like RPG of all time, though.
Okay, what I'm saying though is like 9 doesn't need like a full-on remake like 7 does. I'm just kind of disappointed in the official release they did for the PS4. They could have put way more effort into like they could have just redrawn the backgrounds, or I'm sorry, I've just seen better work on a mod for Steam's version than like the one.
Oh my god, yeah, like the AI upscaler stuff of like how clean those pre-rendered backgrounds look is insane. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but then also it's like, I think if we're all collectively as a Final Fantasy family going to come together, we all have to just be honest. And if another game had to get remade, it has to be 6. 6 does not deserve to be stuck in shitty-looking mobile port hell.
True.
Whereas at least 9 still looks good. At the end of the day, 9 is still not disgusting to look at, whereas 6 looks like an abomination.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate what fucking intern they made, like, draw the mobile ports of those games.
And the fact that that is the only version on Steam is truly, truly... Like, think about it. The best way to play 6 legally is to buy the PlayStation 1 Classic version, which has horrendous loading, and nothing else.
Yep.
I'll pretend someone here said something about Square Enix's Western properties and be the nice guy here and say Square Enix will do a good move and remove... They will remove Eidos Montreal from Avengers Hell, and they will finally be allowed to finish the Deus Ex trilogy.
Oh my god.
Because Deus Ex Mankind Divided literally ends on a giant fuck you cliffhanger.
Yeah. I made a mild jab at Avengers when Devon was trying to place her.
You know what? I didn't even want to jump on it because let's be real. The biggest punishment Avengers gets is just being Avengers. Like, it's its own worst enemy at this point.
Yeah. True.
Like, even though like they're quote unquote trying to save that game, like I think everyone just kind of collectively knows that that game is fucking dead. Like, there is no amount of Black Panthers or fucking Hawkeyes they can add to that game that will save it. Also, speaking of huge game download sizes, Avengers right now as it is, with having only added 2 characters and 2 minor story additions, is almost at 150 gigs. So, Avengers does not deserve that much of your hard drive space, everybody.
Not even 15 was that big after everything.
And 15 is a big boy. 15 is a very big boy game. King of Jack Bros, asking the question we all need to say. Oh no, Dimmy crowed the super chat, already showing you don't know how to spend your money well. Thank you for the $2. But saying, I'm sad I paid $60 for Avengers. I'm sad for you, Dimmy Crow. But man, that hurts my feelings. But we're about to ask this question here from the King himself. King of Jack Bros, also Dimmy Crow, says, will we ever get a SMT5 skin in Minecraft? I think yes. I bet you we will one day. Minecraft will get desperate enough they have to add in Atlus stuff.
I'll just say, yeah, maybe.
Now, Audrey, did you hear what just got announced for Minecraft DLC today?
No.
How to Train
Should I
Your
be
Dragons.
scared? Do what?
How to Train Your Dragons. And they actually skinned the dragons in the game. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Huh.
Oh, that's nice.
So it was wholesome. See? Minecraft, not all bad, everybody. We like Minecraft on this podcast.
I can't believe there's been a second renaissance of Minecraft.
I like to think the first one never ended, but that's just me. Next question comes from Pink Banter. Says, who will be the last characters announced for Smash Bros. Ultimate?
I said this earlier, but the last character is going to be Kermit with 2 samurai swords smoking a blunt.
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Can the second character also be Jerry Springer? Can it be Jerry Seinfeld from the Bee Movie? The Bee Movie was a video game, so I'm just saying it is possible.
True. Soccer. That's a good choice.
Devon and Audri, who would you guys want as the last people involved?
That's tough.
Paul and Benik is a great addition. What if one of the last characters is just Sakurai? He just brings Sakurai himself in.
I mean, I would say from if I wanted to do something from Yakuza, I'd say Goro Majima.
I'm at a weird point, and this kind of goes to a lot of the people who ask, oh, do you want this SMT representation? I kind of think we have too much Sega already. We have Bayonetta, we have Joker, we have Sonic. We don't need 4 Sega characters.
Okay. I don't think we have that much Capcom representation. Go Wild, Amaterasu.
Are you sure? Because we literally have Ken. I said Goku. We have Ken, Ryu, Mega Man. I feel like there's more Capcom characters. There's probably, and I'm forgetting, but yeah.
I love Shulk, but with a gun.
Thank you, Devin. That's a good one.
Leon.
Resident Evil would be an interesting one, especially if the rumor of Revelations 3 being a Nintendo exclusive being true would be fun.
No, that could be.
Because, I mean, they put Snake in, so why can't we have another, gun guy?
We should get... I mean, they have a lot of guns at this point. We should get specifically RE4 Leon, but he has to have Ashley on the screen at the same time, and she takes, double damage.
He's just Ice Climbers, except Ashley does nothing.
Yep, literally. the most he can do, his final smash is he throws Ashley in the suit of armor and just spins her around.
I like that.
But every time,
would like to have her get thrown into a garbage can.
Yeah, the only thing is his down B throws Ashley into a garbage can for 30 seconds where she can't get damaged, but while she's in there, it's at max volume. Liam, help! And that's the trade-off. Is your ears are bleeding or she's getting just the absolute trash beaten into her. Speaking of Resident Evil lore, do you guys know that new Netflix animated CG movie for Resident Evil is Leon protecting Ashley's dad, which then just only makes me hope, God, I really hope that they have an updated Ashley model in there. Because it takes place, I think, before 4, and just any more Ashley in Resident Evil I desperately want, just because I think she is just such a forgettable RE character. Which is actually really saying a lot, because I feel like maybe this was just a Mikami thing. The funny thing with Ashley is they don't even sexualize her. Her personality is just, I'm the blonde one. She's not even there as to be titillating. Even Leon doesn't want to fuck her.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm pretty sure Leon is one of the characters that knows what sex is, but just does not have it.
Yeah, the most wholesome thing about Leon will forever just be that he will be in a platonic relationship with Ada Wong for the rest of his life, and there's nothing she can do about it.
He's sterile, okay?
He's sterile.
Well, Chris Redfield just dashes behind.
Oh, I
the
have so many
fucking
things I
sister.
want to say about
It's-
Ethan
okay,
with his
It's
cum,
like
but I
how
can't.
Kiryu is sterile. Kiryu is sterile, and Ichiban is not.
He's not sterile. He's a Kiryu is a straight up virgin. It's like confirmed, word of God.
Okay, but Kiryu is also cool. So I mean, I'd say the word for someone that is a virgin but still cool is sterile, right?
Are we
Voluntary celibate.
are we calling Ichiban? Where are we putting Ichiban on the virility meter?
Ichiban fucks.
He
He does.
fucks, but he doesn't actually fuck. He
No, he
metaphorically
really does.
fucks. He really
He
fucks.
does.
I'm just gonna let them talk about this.
Are we,
He has
did I admit?
proud puss, and he's not afraid to say it either.
Okay. I'll say this: he at least would respect the puff puff. I at least appreciate
Yeah.
that about him.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question by Jagingus. What are you hoping or wanting to see at E3? We answered that one. You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Immortal Slasher said, are you going to do a live watch of E3? That's a tough one, especially because I haven't actually requested off the time for work yet, but I think at this one, unless something gets really announced concrete plan-wise, like, the only conferences I always was like, fuck, I gotta watch was Sony, and obviously Sony hasn't done anything in 2 years at a conference. I think as it is now, I wouldn't take a... Like, I'd rather work at my job and hate myself than plan to watch E3 and be disappointed. Like, what about you all? Anyone taking off for E3 as of right now?
I mean, if I'm interested when like a conference is going on, I might tune in and. have
No,
it
I
on
mean,
as
you are putting in the
background.
time off request now.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, no, I've never done that, but I have definitely looked at like Nintendo Directs like on the clock.
Well, yeah, that's almost like a mandatory at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I work from home, so I kind of always have something on in the background.
Must be
I
nice.
just don't know if I'll necessarily have that up.
Okay. All right, our last set of questions come from Twitter. First one comes from Persona Forever, who says, besides anything SMT or Persona related to E3, what are your other expectations from the other companies? Any other last not related to Square or things we've talked about before, little predictions or dream of dreams anyone's hoping to see? I've pretty much said all the ones I'm kind of expecting, but just because I have the bar set very low.
I mean, I don't really think this is going to be like a thing at E3. Access doesn't really do stuff at E3, right?
Axis, no. They'll do press releases, but they're not really known for being, they're not really known for, like, dropping stuff. Or if they do, it never really gets picked up by the press.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. My
Like-
stuff is still staying niche, as usual.
Yeah, like you have to literally sign up for their actual newsletter to get that news.
Fun fact, by the way, the CEO of Axis Games is, like, one of the largest fucking Atlus fans I've ever seen in my life. And I cannot get him on the show. Not because he doesn't want to be on the show, but literally just because he's like, I'm not really like, I'm like, he seemed like he was into the idea, but it was because like he's just kind of like, oh, I don't really like the idea of being on a microphone. It's like it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just like I'm not a little weird about it. But it'd be like this dude like collects like so much fucking rare shit and whatnot, and I'm sure with his position, it's been made very very easy. But it is one of those things like God, I would fucking love to talk to this person who has had so much experience in that, but I can't force someone to be on. But it is a fun fact to know, like, one of the biggest, like, I don't know, for me, I always find it cool, like, when companies I like are run by people who have the same interests as me, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knowing that there's that like direct relatability to higher ups is really cool.
Alright, so next question comes from, as I'm moving around, Mirth, who is also in the chat watching live. When was the last time Atlus actually had a Persona-related announcement that wasn't in an event that they made themselves? I want to say it was Joker being announced for Smash back in 2018 at the Game Awards. This one, I guess, would sadly have to go to Persona 4 Golden at the PC Gamer Show, but I mean, I think most people just kind of knew that was happening anyways, because anything Atlus or Sega leaks, even fucking Lost Judgment leaked. So, yeah, sadly, I think most people forget when Atlus news actually happens because it always leaks before it happens.
Yeah.
Karma says, not why, when they do, it's probably going to announce another Persona spinoff or a whole 15 minutes of Nocturne HD if we're lucky. That would be like the most peak Atlus thing. We're going to show you footage of this game that is already out, that released last month, that you all hopefully maybe bought.
Oh my god, like that
That's
one
also-
live stream we stayed up with
Oh
you
my
about.
God.
Well, I mean, at least you guys
Yeah.
aren't referring to New Game Plus Expo. That was at least like... That was them testing us. That was testing us for something that was inevitably worth it, whereas, like, New Game Plus was like they showed
Worth
us...
it, I fell asleep.
Well, yeah, but, like, I got some
missed
footage out of it. I got some footage out of it.
I like missed.
Now, you say you missed it, but there is still on this channel footage of you half awake watching it, though.
It's true. I went back and watched it at some point.
Now, this does bring up a good point, though, and someone on my YouTube asked about this, whose name I'm going to feel very bad about forgetting. Jake! Jake actually mentioned if we could talk about the P5U domain thing again, and this one's probably more for Dylan and Audri. Basically, people are getting their hopes up thinking that the next Persona spinoff is going to be Persona 5 Ultimax or Persona 5 the Ultima Arena or whatever. I'm on the camp of I think Arc is way too fucking either big or too busy or too expensive for another Ultimax, but are either of you guys hopeful that P5U could actually be the arena comeback we've all been waiting for?
Okay, so I'll go on ahead and give my expert opinion first. Given the fact that Team Blue is like doing nothing the fuck else right now,
I
really
thought they
hope
were
it's
in charge
good.
of the shitty mobile game no one likes.
They probably are, but that's also a shitty mobile game, so that probably takes like 4 people to actually make.
Very true. It's all an algorithm at this point.
Yeah, so like they're not working on anything in particular. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is basically entirely done with its support.
Which is funny because they have never announced that it's done. So there are still a few people holding out hope for Season 3, and I'm like, bro, you were lucky to get Season 2.
Yeah, for real. That game did so fucking shittily. And, like, it's an absolute fun game to watch, but it fucking sucks to play. But yeah, no, I would really love to see a P5 Ultimax. Do I think it'll happen, like, at the C3? Fucking no. But it'd be nice.
Audrey, do you have any thoughts on P5U?
I think it would also be nice, but I don't think it's gonna happen this E3. I mean, if they did one, I'd like to have characters from Strikers in there.
Oh my god, Zenkichi would fuck so hard.
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to introduce, like, the Strikers characters in to, like, people who haven't played that yet. Me.
Oh.
Also, it'd be a great way to get Sho and Labris back in the limelight.
That is a good point, especially because literally Ultimax ends with them being like, and now we'll go on to our fabulous adventures of never happening.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Now, just so I feel like I'm including everyone, though, Dev, what would the U in P5U stand for?
P5.
P5 Okay, take it to the banks, everyone. P5 coming 2022.
P5 shit, we've milked this game too far again.
Not as much as P4, but I mean,
it's
it's second place isn't that bad when you have like nothing to compete with for third.
What if it's Persona 5 Team Racing and it's made by the Sonic Team Racing team?
I will take my GameStop banner in my living room and burn it on a live stream if we get P5 Racing.
I appreciate that. Here's one that you can actually talk about. That Mirth, I actually have no comment on for this. I have not seen Invincible, sadly, because I'm too cheap for Amazon Prime. But you guys have, or at least I know Dylan has. What are some thoughts on Invincible now that it is over?
So I've read Invincible.
Spoilers: it gets violent.
True. Yeah, no, I've read the original source comic. I've been wanting to watch it, but I have a bit of an aversion to like animated gore for some fucking reason. But I might be willing to put up with it for Invincible. It's on Amazon, so I haven't brought it up yet.
Either
You
of
say
you,
that, but we watched Castlevania.
Castlevania was cool as shit.
I feel like
Castlevania.
Invincible is much more of a like, oh no, I just sent a picture I should not have. You know what? Let me just delete that real quick.
Yeah.
Let me unsend. Everyone, I have a bad news. I just in a family chat, in the Genshin family chat, I sent a picture I definitely should have. So I hope nobody saw that. I'm gonna send that to Dylan and just to let him convey what I just said to hopefully what nobody saw in the family. So wow, that was like my life flash before I asked for a second when I did that really quick. That was horrifying. Dylan, how would you describe what I almost sent? Never have OBS issues unless you guys are on.
Blame
So
it on
weird.
us. What the?
That's the best use of Mike Stoklasa I've seen in a while.
Thank you. Yeah, so I said that to my family who has no idea what any of those references are, so truly horrifying. Okay, assuming we're live again, nobody missed anything except my brain rotting. So yes. Twitter though, questions wise, let me pull back up with what I had again. So yeah, Invincible stuff. It's one I know I want to watch, but I'm also just like in no hurry to have another. Okay, now to be fair, I want to watch Invincible. That's why I use the Invincible GIF for it. My thing with it is I know I would love Invincible. I have read Invincible. It's just because I'm adverse to having another streaming service. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll push that off as long as humanly possible. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah,
actually it
no,
for
like-
Twitter questions, though. I think the only ones that are left are YouTube that we can go through really fast because I think literally the only one there is. Yeah, we literally only have one that we haven't covered at all that's left, and that would be from Kieran Buckley, who says, outside of SMT5 getting delayed to 2022, which, by the way, all three of you all on here, is anyone here thinking SMT5 comes out this year?
Fuck
No.
Okay. Thank you. Besides that, though, most likely getting announced or delayed either or getting ignored at the Nintendo Direct. I don't know if we'll see anything from Atlus at E3. Yeah, so this was one of the funny things I kind of thought about. Is like, you know what's funny? They've said they're coming to E3, but they have not announced how they will be showing off what they're showing, if
Right.
anything. So, like, they could just say, hey, we're going to be at E3, and they just have, like, 2 games in a Nintendo Direct or a Microsoft show. And then they don't do anything else.
Yeah.
So, that might be, like, the most on-brand Sega thing, like, ever. So with that downer of a note, everyone, thank you for joining us for episode 217 of the SMTN Late Night Podcast. I'm surprised we kept as many of you as we did, especially through our technical hurdles and jumps, but extra special thanks to all three of my wonderful guests, Dylan, Devon, and Audri. Thank you for putting up with me at the stroke of midnight.
Yep.
Melted.
As always, I love being on the show.
Thank you. I love having my brain slowly turn off as it gets closer to midnight, and as I look at my clock and go, fuck, I wake up in fucking like 6 hours. I'm like mentally right now, I'm like at Ben Affleck outside smoking a cigarette. That's like where
Do
I'm
you
at.
not like have coffee or something in the morning?
No, I'm not a big coffee drinker, and it's not really like great for myself. The most I'll do is just like
I meant when he wakes back up, Dylan. What the hell?
I'll just like do that like with like a drink. I'll just shove it in my face. But no, that's pretty much it for me. But Audrey, where can people find you online? You're a social butterfly. What can they do to find you if you want them to find you?
Mostly my Twitter, Soaring Symphony. It's just a meme page. I'm not really that active on like Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yes, you two. Dylan, you should be easy because you're banned everywhere. Dylan, where can people find you online?
Nowhere right now. No. Right now my Twitter is suspended at arx ARXFGC. But yeah, I'm suspended because I got reported for talking some truth at some fucking people this past couple of weeks.
I don't know. It sounds like you're too pushy, and you deserved it because you also get banned on Facebook.
No.
I heard he used the term libtard unironically.
I did. That was definitely a word that was used.
You know, some people like to call you, Dylan, the Midwestern Ben Shapiro.
It's true. I'm angry at every white person that's ever lived, and I talk way too fast for any of you to understand.
Can I just say, from one white person to another group of other white people in the chat, I love whenever Mary will just say, "Hey, don't take this personally," or "no offense," or whatever. She'll preference something before saying something against white people, and I always have to laugh at her and be like, "Honey, you're always correct about when you're complaining about white people. Like, I've never heard you say something that's just truly audacious. Most of the time, it's like, yep, that's white people being white people." Like,
yeah, I don't think any other racial group should ever, like, preface something they're about to say about white people like that.
But it's like, that's one of those funny things of, like, I've never in a relationship, like, with another white person before been like, man, can I just complain about these white ladies for a little bit today? Because it's like, well, you would just say, like, oh, man, these ladies today at work, they were being a hoot and a holler. But I just so find it funny of, like, for, like, someone who is, like, a minority, especially in America, like, that is just, like, a thing of just, like if someone is specific, like, if someone comes up to you and it's just like, oh my god, this fucking white lady at work, you kind of already know a little bit more than you would if I just said, oh my god, this lady at work.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yep.
Dang it. I'm sorry, Devin, we got political. We talked about white women. Yes, that does count as being political.
Whatever you say, bruh.
From one white woman to another, though, Devin, where can people find you online?
Wait, are you gonna restate that, or are you just gonna roll with
Let's
it?
just roll on through. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm hitting the snooze button.
Okay, ma'am.
We're just gonna leave that one right on the table.
Just
today.
gonna put that one right there on the twitchy eyeball.
I am on Twitter as Lavinark Doots, underscore Doots. I'm on Instagram as Lavinark, and that's LAVINARK. I do cosplay, and I'm kind of maybe thinking of VTubing. I don't know, whatever.
Can you cosplay VTube?
Cosplay VTube. Yeah, maybe if I got the skills to, like, make, mesh models and stuff.
No, I mean, like, when you eventually finish your model, would you ever cosplay as your VTuber?
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Because, I mean, the clothes that I'm, like, getting done for her, I actually do have in real life already. So,
Okay.
maybe. We'll see. I don't really think I could do the eyes very well.
There's nothing. If there's anything we've learned over a year of not cosplaying in public, is that you can do anything you want if you just try enough and scream at night.
I wouldn't have a voice if I did that.
All right, well, everyone, thank you again so much. If you would like to, you can watch this. This is a weekly podcast where we talk about apparently everything and nothing at all. You can follow me on Twitter at Torchwood4SP. You can follow the podcast at SMT Network. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/SMT Network. You can find us on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify. Rate and review us there if you can. All that stuff is super fun. Find us on YouTube, where I try and do at least one editorial or review along with a podcast every week. I have 2 Nocturne videos planned that will hopefully come out in the next week. Besides that, if you would like to help make the show possible, you can go to patreon.com/SMTN, and I have changed up the Patreon a little bit. Basically, I have changed it so if you want to support us, the cheapest level possible of just like, hey, help keep the lights on, don't have to worry about anything too much. There's just a super simple $1 tier a month. And then if you would like to be an executive producer, you can donate $5 a month, and then you will get mentioned. Right now, our only executive producer is Robert Dogman, and he has been a longtime homie, and super shout out to Robert for not only just supporting SMTN for a really long time, but just being a super cool guy and being really fast to help me out with some Patreon stuff as well. So thank you to anyone who does donate. I actually have gotten 2 or 3 new patrons like the last week, so even though it is like $1 or whatever, anything helps. Even just sharing the podcast if you can't donate financially. Stuff like that really helps. Yeah, that's about it. No real other big show notes going on besides that, so we're going to end the podcast because I got to get the heck out of here. It's late. I can't believe we kept all of you guys for this long. Thank you all so much. We're going to say goodbye, and hopefully this podcast was more entertaining than E3 this year. So, goodbye.
I'm so sorry if it is. Goodbye.
Oh my god, yeah, imagine looking back at this going, oh my god, that podcast was more fun than E3. What happened?
That'd definitely be my highlight of the year, is if we managed that.
My fucking god. Alright, goodbye everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.